Welcome to my channel. In my channel, you can watch various type of fiction and fantasy audiobook. If you want more video like this, please subscribe my channel.
Rimuru, the Dragon King of Another World. Part 1. Wow, this anime convention has so many cosplayers, and the quality is really high. Tisk tisk. Wang Yimou, cosplaying as Satoru Gojo, looked around through his sunglasses, commenting from time to time. Hello, can we take a photo together? A pleasant voice called out, drawing Wang Yimou's gaze. Ah, it was a Rimuru Tempest cosplayer. I have to say, the voice was very spot on too. Of course, I'd be happy to. He smiled as he spoke, pulling his sunglasses down slightly to reveal his Raikugan, six eyes colored contacts. He leaned down a bit to stand next to the cosplayer and flashed a peace sign at the camera. Thank you, sensei. Please don't end up as 2.5 Joe. After the photo, the Rimuru Tempest cosplayer reached out her hand and teased Wang Yimou. Era, Daijobu, or wa Psycho Dakara. Wang Yimou replied with a smile, reaching out to shake her hand. I hope you can really do that when you go to that world. Huh. Ah. So, I transmigrated just because I shook a hand. Notice. Individual. Wang Yimou has transmigrated. Tisk tisk, that's quite a sloppy start. Beginning race generation. Let's go with the dragon race. It's the totem of China, I really can't turn that down. I'm giving up my humanity. Understood. Generating. Confirmed individual race, dragon of chaos and order. Positioned above dragon kind and bound to the laws of the world. However, due to insufficient soul strength, it is temporarily sealed. Current status. Chaos Dragon, True Dragon Hatchling. Acquired skills. Chaos Walk, Annihilation, Dragon Might, Heaven, Great Sage, Dragon Breath, Innate Divine Strength. Current skills are difficult to rank, please rank after leveling up. Detected unique pupils in the individual. Generating unique skill. Heavenly Eye. Detected power components from another world. Acquired sub-skills of Heavenly Eye. Limitless, Blue, Red, Hollow Purple, Reverse Curse Technique, Domain. Notice. Heaven and Great Sage have automatically merged and evolved into the unique skill, Celestial Language. Individual Wang Yimou is about to awaken. Please explore on your own. Ah, this voice of the world really has a lot to say. Let me see what I look like now. Wang Yimou opened his eyes and saw total darkness. He seemed to be in a cave, it looked like he was about to meet Rimuru Tempest. After looking around, Wang Yimou began to examine his body. It was the body of a Chinese dragon, pitch black all over as if it were swallowing the light. But upon closer inspection, silver light flowed across the dragon's body like a galaxy, gathering and coursing along its form. Wang Yimou was very satisfied, this was indeed very cool. Similarly, because of the Raikugan, six eyes, Wang Yimou's perspective flooded him with information from all angles. Since the Raikugan, six eyes came with built-in information processing, the distribution of magicules and the surrounding topography were constantly pouring into his brain. This started to give Wang Yimou a headache. Notice. Individual has acquired passive, pain nullification. Notice. Individual has acquired passive, mental damage immunity. Notice. Celestial language has acquired automatic information processing and brain protection mechanisms. With that, Celestial Language opened a status panel in front of Wang Yimou. The standard issue panel for the Transmigrator Army is finally here. Panel. Individual. Wang Yimou, body length 1.8 meters. Race. Dragon of Chaos and Order, sealed Chaos Dragon, True Dragon Hatchling. Rank. A-. Skills. Chaos Walk, Annihilation, Dragon Might, Dragon Breath, Innate Divine Strength, Blue, Red, Hollow Purple, Reverse Curse Technique, Domain. Unique Skills. Celestial Language, Heavenly Eye. Tisk tisk, an A- rank monster right from the start. By the way, what kind of skill is Celestial Language? Notice. Celestial Language is a variation of Great Sage and is superior to Great Sage. You can understand it as the difference between a 32-core processor and a 64-core processor. Celestial Language allows you to better attune to the world and communicate with the voice of the world. So basically, the game developers couldn't stop the cheaters, so they just released an official cheat, huh? Not bad. Stretching his body, Wang Yimou prepared to explore. With just a light leap, he could float in the air. As a dragon, flying was a basic requirement. I have to say, once your feet leave the ground, being in a floating state still feels a bit insecure. After slowly adapting to the feeling, Wang Yimou could already soar through the sky like a dragon from a movie. He had attacking capabilities now, but no life-saving skills, so he asked Celestial Language how to obtain them. Notice. Hippolyte grass is the raw material for healing medicine. Healing effects can be obtained through ingestion, which will then be analyzed to generate a skill. The master's skills in this world can be obtained through your own insights. Insights, huh? Wang Yimou gradually returned to the ground, picked up a handful of soil, and rubbed it. He gained earth element affinity. He molded the soil into a ball and threw it, gaining earth element bullet. The earth is the mother of life, nurturing all things. We are born from the earth and return to the earth, life and death cycle endlessly. Notice. Insight into the earth has yielded Earth Chaos Fragment 1/1/5. Unlocked Earth Element Mastery Beginner. Earth Element Bullet has evolved into Malice Earth. Repeated use can increase proficiency. So that's how insights work. Now that he knew how to get skills, the rest was easy. He just had to follow the original Rimuru Tempest's example and explore the cave. Thus, Wang Yimou dove into the water, inhaled and exhaled the current, gaining water element affinity and water blade. Life cannot exist without the nourishment of water. Water is the place where life originated. The natural activities of the world cannot function without water. All things nurtured by the earth cannot survive without the care of water. Water is inherently formless, it is we who give it its many forms. Notice. Insight into water has yielded Chaos Water Fragment *2/2/5. Acquired Water Element Mastery. Acquired Passive Skill. Water Immunity. Water Blade has evolved into Void Water Slash. Flying out of the water, he opened his small mouth and spat out Dragon Breath. The scorching fire raised the temperature of the cave. Looking at the remaining flames on the ground, Wang Yimou reached out a dragon claw to touch the fire. Fire is the origin of civilization. Fire brings light and hope, but it also brings destruction and ruin. No one survives under a great fire. Yet, while fire is heartless, it also possesses heart. Life that withstands the fire will be reborn. Notice. Insight into fire has yielded Fire Chaos Fragment *1/1/5. Acquired Fire Element Mastery. Dragon Breath has evolved into Chaos Dragon Breath. Acquired Fire Immunity and White Flame. That's about enough, Wang Yimou thought. However, he didn't forget about recovery skills, so he ate some hippolyte grass and gave himself a scratch with his claw to see how the wound healed. Decomposing the hippolyte grass yielded magicules with healing effects. The magicules automatically gathered at the wound, and it began to heal. Notice. Acquired skill. Healing. Skill level can be increased through repeated use, or the skill can evolve by comprehending the skills of others. I won't introduce most of the skills one by one, I'll just introduce the ones of custom designed. Chaos Walk. Covers oneself in chaos chi to erase one's presence, making it difficult to be detected. It also removes negative effects like crowd control and slows. Even during time stop, it leaves a teleportation anchor in the chaos space, allowing for teleportation through the chaos space. Annihilation. Gathers chaos chi to erase the target's existence, or erases everything within the range of the chaos chi, including air, creating a space of nothingness. Please use with caution. Celestial Language. An alternative name for the voice of the world. It is nearly omniscient and omnipotent because of the protagonist's existence. Characters from worlds other than Rimuru Tempests will appear. It doesn't have an auto-battle capability, but it can communicate with the world's will. Chaos. Represents sin, it mostly brings about corruption, sin, destruction, and ruin. Order. Advocates punishment, it judges sin, purifies filth, and grants hope, justice, and vitality. After gathering most of the natural elements within the cave, Wang Yimou began to explore other areas. Because of the heavenly eye, Wang Yimou knew that the magicules he released were extremely exaggerated, so he self-taught the magicule suppression skill. Perhaps due to his outward appearance, no monsters dared to approach Wang Yimou. Other monsters. Our intelligence might not be high, but I'm certainly not going to mess with an individual that looks this special. Left with no choice, Wang Yimou had to go find monsters himself to send them some warmth. Cave Spider, your fellow countryman is here to bring you warmth. He fired a shot of white flame dragon breath. Amidst the warm flames, the monster danced with joy and let out a happy cry. Tisk tisk, I really am a great philanthropist. Wang Yimo looked at the charred figure in the flames and nodded, very satisfied. After absorbing the soul, he didn't bother with the aftermath and continued his happy flight. Eventually, he encountered a multicolored cavern chamber. No way, I'm encountering the Chunibyo dragon right off the bat. As Wang Yimo was thinking this, the Chunibyo dragon likely noticed an extraordinary creature nearby and called out, "O weak monster, come closer and let this great one see what kind of creature you are." Tisk, the Tsunere Chunibyo dragon. Oh well, I might as well wait for the slime here. Wang Yimo didn't think twice and flew straight over. Upon getting closer, he saw the storm dragon Beldora inside the barrier. Beldora was momentarily speechless when he saw who it was. It was a dragon with a unique design, different from the four true dragons, yet its aptitude was definitely of the true dragon series. It contained two special powers within. Beldora also noticed the seal. After sensing the strength of Wang Yimo's soul, he understood the reason. Little dragon, why is your soul strength so weak that you're forced to seal your own bloodline to maintain it? He saw through it. Well, I guess the Chunibyo dragon's abilities are decent besides his Tsunere and Chunibyo nature. I'm a reincarnator who came to this world by accident. A soul transmigration, so naturally, it's not enough to match this body shaped by the world. I see. Your aptitude is not inferior to mine, the storm dragon. How interesting to meet a reincarnator. Usually, these people are summoned as weapons of mass destruction. Let's not talk about that for now. If you just want to say things like this, I'm leaving. Wait, don't go. I haven't seen an intelligent being in 300 years. Keep me company for a bit longer. Beldora's dragon face flushed red, and he poked his two fingers together in front of his chest, looking incredibly aggrieved, if one could ignore his majestic dragon physique. Then let's chat for a while. What's your name, and why are you trapped here? Although Wang Yimo knew the reason, he asked anyway. So Beldora began to introduce himself, mentioning the story of how he accidentally destroyed a village and the subsequent sealing by unlimited imprisonment. You were a bit too accidental there. After listening to the story, Wang Yimo reached out and touched the sealing barrier. The celestial language immediately began its analysis. Seeing this, Beldora stopped talking and just watched quietly. Report. Unlimited imprisonment. Analyzing. Unlimited imprisonment. Analysis successful, but failed to break. Obtaining administrator privileges will take nearly 100 years. However, you have learned the skill. Imprisonment, upgraded to chaos prison. Level is lower than unlimited imprisonment. I'll leave it to Rimuru. I can't solve it anyway. Sorry, buddy. I can analyze it but I can't let you out. I even learned a weakened version of the skill, but it's not enough. Wang Yimo said, looking at Beldora with a hint of disappointment. Beldora lowered his head, his expression unreadable. It's fine. I never expected to regain my freedom. Having your concern is enough. After all, this is only our first meeting. Don't be so gloomy, there will always be a way. I am the dragon of chaos and order. Nice to meet you, Beldora. Ah, nice to meet you, little dragon. Besides, I still have several hundred years before I dissipate, ahahahaha. Beldora, being thick-skinned, cheered up and began to converse with Wang Yimo. The two talked about the strange events of their respective worlds, commenting on them from time to time. The dead silence of the cave was filled with a happy atmosphere. Meanwhile, the monsters Wang Yimo hadn't warned to along the way were conveniently swallowed by a certain large stomach. Slightly modifying the timeline. 2 days later, Wang Yimo sensed a different kind of magicule approaching. He told Beldora and hid in the shadows to see what kind of creature it was. Just then, a slime singing a cheerful little tune flew directly into the cave where Beldora was using high-pressure water jets for propulsion. Great sage. Report. Dangerous creature nearby. As expected, the plot doesn't change. Hey, slime. You can hear me, right? Everyone should be familiar with the plot from the anime, right? Don't say I'm padding the word count if I write it out. In short, after the slime learned magical sense, it was startled by Beldora. The two had a brief chat, and Beldora once again introduced his glorious past. In the shadows, Wang Yimo couldn't help but palm his forehead. Good grief, is that really something to be proud of? The slime also introduced its identity as a reincarnator. Oh ho, another reincarnator. How interesting, Veldora said. Another one. Has another reincarnator been here, Veldora? The slime asked urgently. After all, it was incredibly difficult to find a fellow countryman in another world. Yes, he's right here. Come out and meet him, little dragon, Veldora said to Wang Yimo in the shadows. Wang Yimo flew out and introduced himself to the slime. Hello, I am the dragon of chaos and order. I was Chinese before I reincarnated. You can call me Mo. Wow, a fellow countryman. I'm so happy to see you. I'm Satoru, from Japan. The slime shed tears of excitement. No, that's probably gel. This guy will eventually become feminized later. Wang Yimo looked at the slime curiously, picking him up to feel the cool, slippery texture. Tisk tisk, he started pulling and squishing him, it was so stress relieving. Why are you a slime? I'd like to know that too. Why is the gap between reincarnators so huge? Seemingly touched on a sore spot, the slime leaked a bit more gel. Oh, that's enough, Mo. Do you have a gender? I think I'm genderless. A bit leaning towards female. The slime wasn't quite sure. Does that even matter? It seemed to realize that it wouldn't be able to have a harem in this other world. The slime was crestfallen. What about you, Xiao Mo? I'm male, of course, Wang Yimo said, proudly putting his hands on his hips. The slime was struck down once again. It turned from sky blue directly to gray. It's okay, I'll enjoy your share on your behalf. A double blow. I definitely won't let you get your way, Xiao Mo. I'll keep a close eye on you. The slime thought, but after its feminization, that, keeping an eye, would take on a different flavor. Veldora couldn't help but laugh out loud watching the two of them. The slime also used the Great Sage to analyze unlimited imprisonment, coming up with a plan to swallow Veldora into its stomach for analysis to prevent him from dissipating. Veldora was also very happy at the prospect of getting out. Before that, the few of us are friends forever, right? Wang Yimo spoke up. Yes, we are eternal friends, Rimuru echoed. Then to remember our friendship, let us carve a mark upon each other's souls. Wang Yimo and the slime both looked at Veldora with confusion. It's naming. Naming will grant you my protection, and our three names will be carved into our souls, allowing us to sense each other's presence and status. Great idea. The two said in unison. First, they named the Chunibyo dragon. As expected, it was Veldora Tempest, and the slime was Rimuru Tempest. When it came to Wang Yimo, the two scratched their heads in difficulty. Chaos and order, it's so hard, Rimuru thought. How about Jupiter Tempest? Wang Yimo thought of a figure from Western mythology. Why not use a Chinese deity? Rimuru asked. Tisk, because I'm not worthy. Wang Yimo was more or less afraid of displeasing our true Lord Erlang. Then it's decided. I am Veldora Tempest. I am Jupiter Tempest. I am Rimuru Tempest. The three of them placed their hands together across the barrier, engraving each other's existence into their souls. Notice. Receive the protection of Storm Dragon Veldora. Acquired skill. Storm Mastery. Name engraved. Jupiter Tempest. Magical count increased. Growth beginning. I'm about to undergo growth, so I'll be sleeping for a while. Wang Yimo greeted the two and found a place to fall asleep. 2 days after Wang Yimo fell into a deep sleep following the naming, Rimuru swallowed the storm dragon Veldora. Watching such a large friend disappear before his eyes made Rimuru feel a bit sentimental. However, seeing Jupiter lying there sleeping made him feel much better. After another 2 days, Wang Yimo woke up. Notice. Individual name. Wang Yimo, Jupiter Tempest. Race. Dragon of Chaos and Order, sealed Chaos Dragon Youth Stage. Rank. A. Size. 18 meters. Skills. Seeing Wang Yimo, whose size was 10 times larger than before, Rimuru said happily. Let's go, Jupiter. Let's get out of here. Wait a moment, let me control my size. Wang Yimo used magicals to change his size, shrinking from 18 meters back down to 1.8 meters. Notice. Acquired skill. Size alteration. You should still call me Xiao Mo. I'm not used to hearing Jupiter, Wang Yimo replied lazily. Alright, Xiao Mo. Rimuru was very happy to call him that, as it was a symbol of trust and a good relationship. Just as Rimuru was hopping along, preparing to leave the cavern, Wang Yimo flew over, held him in his arms, and the two slowly flew forward. Having the ability to fly is really great, Xiao Mo. Can't you use mimicry? Over the past few days, everyone had gotten to know each other thoroughly, understanding about 70 to 80% of each other's skills. Incidentally, through the hippolyte grass used to make potions, Rimuru had analyzed healing magic for Wang Yimo, allowing healing magic to upgrade into great healing magic. He also learned ultra-speed regeneration from other creatures, and the two were combined. Notice. Skill generated. Life aura. He also learned body protection. Notice. Skill generated. Chaos armor. The white light flowing over the dark dragon scales on Wang Yimo's body became even more dazzling, and the scales became more pronounced, possessing a strong metallic texture. Oh, right, I can use mimicry. Rimuru seemed to have forgotten, or perhaps he really was just relying on Wang Yimo. Wang Yimo didn't think much of it and let Rimuru rely on him. Carrying Rimuru, they arrived at the cave's exit. The exit doors were tightly shut, and just as Rimuru was trying to figure out a way, the doors opened. An exploration party walked in. Strange, why has Veldora's presence disappeared? It's better to be cautious. The female mage activated an invisibility skill. Honestly, could she at least hide her footprints? As they walked into the cave, Wang Yimo and Rimuru had already quietly left. The female mage looked back but found nothing. What's wrong? I thought I sensed monsters. Was it just an illusion? The party didn't think much more of it and continued exploring deep into the cave. As early as 2 days ago, when Veldora had just disappeared, the human kingdoms and monster tribes surrounding the Jura Great Forest had sensed it. One by one, they began to stir, wanting to occupy the forest that had lost the storm dragon's protection. Do you know about the fact that Veldora has disappeared? Ah, of course. If you feel you don't understand well enough, you can watch the anime yourself. I'm not writing it because I don't want to pad the word count right now. And so, that exploration party appeared here. Finally out, huh? The wind of freedom, the sweet air, though I can't actually smell it, Rimuru lamented. The air is indeed a bit better than in the cave. Taking a deep breath filled with the scent of freedom, Wang Yimo stretched his body and felt very comfortable. He didn't continue flying while holding Rimuru. After all, the newbie gift pack still had to be collected. The two strolled leisurely along the path. No one reminded Rimuru about his magical levels, so Rimuru walked around brazenly, exposing his massive magical count. Before long, great beings ahead, what is your business here? It was goblins, a group of malnourished, trembling goblins pointing wooden spears, broken shields, and worn-out weapons at them. Whoa, 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 Xiao Mo, it's goblins. Rimuru said with a hint of excitement. Yeah, I see them, Rimuru, I'm not blind. So, should we greet them? Wang Yimo picked his ear, not paying much mind to these goblins. Yeah, I think that works. Are they calling us great beings? Wang Yimo nodded and said, I suppose so. Then, hello. Nice to meet you, I am Rimuru Tempest. Just like in the original story, he spoke with a loud voice. No, it was a sonic wave attack. The goblins were knocked head over heels by the sound waves. They then quickly knelt and prostrated themselves, saying, Lord, we only sensed powerful monsters and came to investigate. We meant no offense. Please, withdraw your divine power. Realizing his sonic attack, a bashful Rimuru lowered his volume and looked back. Wang Yimo was covering his head with both hands, as if he had anticipated this. Hey, Xiao Mo, why didn't you warn me? You didn't ask. Ah, this guy Xiao Mo is just waiting to watch me make a fool of myself, isn't he? Then, great monster, may I ask what your name is? Jupiter Tempest. Lords, I take the liberty of requesting your help. Tell us what it is first, Rimuru asked directly. It is like this, the Jura Great Forest was protected by Lord Veldora, so no one dared to intrude. But Lord Veldora disappeared a few days ago. The surrounding monster tribes have begun to invade our goblin village. Please, lords, protect us. Rimuru was a bit curious and turned to ask Wang Yimo, Xiao Mo, should we help them? It seems like this situation happened because of us in Veldora. Should we clean up a bit for Veldora? Since they are creatures protected by Veldora, let's offer them a bit of protection. After all, I don't want Veldora's home to be gone once he's free, Wang Yimo mused. But this isn't the place to talk. Take us to your village to have a look. Certainly, Lord Jupiter, Lord Rimuru. Lords, this way please. They followed the goblins to the goblin village, a dilapidated village filled with thin, small goblins. They truly had no resistance against powerful outside monsters. Entering the only house that looked halfway decent, the two sat on high seats. Below them knelt two goblins, the goblin elder and the lead young goblin. Elder, stand up. Tell us the situation, Wang Yimo said in a deep voice, assuming the posture of a superior. This guy Xiao Mo is actually quite imposing. Rimuru didn't interrupt, just watched Wang Yimo. Yes, Lord Jupiter. It is like this. Currently, the village is being attacked by the Direwolf clan. The former village warrior, the named monster Rigyur, died in battle. Currently, the village consists mostly of injured and disabled goblins, there isn't much effective combat strength left. The old elder spoke tremulously, as if a single breath could send the old man away. Wang Yimo nodded and looked at Rimuru, asking, Rimuru, do you have any suggestions? Ah, me. I think we should first go see the wounded and see if the two of us can heal them. That should be a way to maintain the village's combat strength. Also, we can see if we can build some defensive fortifications. Yeah, I think that works. Then let's head out. Elder, take us to see the wounded. The group arrived at a crude health station. Inside lay a large number of wounded. They all had lacerations, and some wounds were so deep the bone was visible, with internal organs exposed, barely hanging on by a thread. Tisk, just as expected. Wang Yimo approached a wounded goblin and began to cast great healing magic. The room filled with a healing green light, brimming with vitality. In an instant, the little goblin regained his vigor, with no trace of the injuries he had suffered. It's a miracle. Thank you, Lord, thank you for saving my life. After speaking, he continued to bow and thank him incessantly. Rimuru pulled out healing potions, which were even faster. Several wounded goblins were soon jumping around with vitality. Rimuru, save the potions for them to use in battle later. Let these guys be cured by my healing magic, Wang Yimo suggested. After speaking, he activated Life Aura. An intense vitality filled the entire house. Everyone present felt the life force within their bodies being awakened. Even the old elder felt as if he had become several years younger. Everyone was healed, and feeling no discomfort in their bodies, they found Wang Yimo's healing ability incredible. Then, all the goblins knelt on the ground, thanking Wang Yimo for saving their lives. Having healed the wounded, Rimuru also prepared some medicine just in case. Next up was the village chief's defensive construction. Hey, do you have any ideas, Rimuru? Wang Yimo shrunk his body and lay lazily on top of Rimuru as he spoke. Rimuru didn't mind Wang Yimo lying on him. Instead, he continued to think. There wasn't much the village could do at the moment. The goblins had limited intelligence and knew nothing of construction or metallurgy, making it difficult to create effective defenses in a short time. I guess it really is up to us, huh? Hey, Xiao Mo, let's help them all the way. You go get some wood to set up a perimeter wall and some abatis for external defense, and I'll help train them. Rimuru had come up with a few ideas. Wang Yimo gave an, okay, and flew off into the forest. He compressed the wind element into wind blades and felled a large patch of trees. Looking at all that wood, Wang Yimo decided there was no way he was moving it himself. He was just about to call the goblins over to carry it when. Notice. Acquired skill Wind Blade. Evolving into Chaos Wind Blade. Wang Yimo then flew down to touch the trees, feeling the vitality they brought. The forest, all-encompassing nature, darkness and danger, vitality and survival. The earth brings life to the forest, but the opportunities within its existence also bring danger. Notice. Comprehending the forest has granted Chaos Earth Shard *1 2/5. Notice. Acquired skill Wood Affinity. Wood Affinity. A tree-based ability, am I about to summon a great Buddha? Notice. It is not simply affinity with trees. What else is there then? He couldn't figure it out, so he simply stopped thinking about it. Too lazy to call for help, he directly used the wind element to transport the timber back. You're quite capable, Xiao Mo. Let me see how to set up these abatis. Oh right, Xiao Mo, take them to build the city, wall. Before he could finish, Wang Yimo had already used the earth element to raise a dirt wall around the village, high enough for the goblins to stand on. Looking at the sufficiently thick, perhaps earthen wall, Wang Yimo stood in the air with his hands on his hips once more, nodding in pride at his masterpiece. Below, Rimuru looked at the childlike Wang Yimo and couldn't help but smile. So Xiao Mo has a childish side too. His smile was quite doting, though he didn't even realize it himself. Very nice, Xiao Mo. Just reinforce it a bit and it'll be perfect, Rimuru shouted from below, waving at Wang Yimo. Seeing this, Wang Yimo waved back from the air to signal, okay. The corner of his mouth twitched upward by a single pixel, something likely no one could notice. Don't ask me how I know, I just do. Rimuru directed the goblins to set up the abatis and also built a watchtower for scouting and attacking. Wang Yimo combined the extra wood with the earthen wall, effectively reinforcing it. Barely, this goblin village now had the strength to fight a single battle, and only one. If there were any more, they wouldn't last. Even the old village chief was up on the wall with a bow and arrow, it was a fight for survival. As night fell, Rimuru and Wang Yimo stood atop the main gate, watching the direwolf clan gathering on the opposite hillside. Wang Yimo didn't think much of it, he could wipe them out just by unleashing his skills. The direwolves, bro, isn't using the power of chaos to hit us a bit much. As for Rimuru, since he didn't know his own combat strength, he wanted to be cautious with Wang Yimo there. Rimuru had no dreams of hegemony or ambition, he just wanted a home with Wang Yimo and Beldora where they could live peacefully in this other world. He didn't seem to realize the beginning of his feminization, nor did he know when he started becoming so dependent on Wang Yimo. Less than they'll probably start dating after they both take human form. After all, they're different species, it's better to be in human form to cultivate feelings, right? Greater than. Xiao Mo, can we do this? I don't like all this fighting and killing. Wang Yimo floated down and rested his head on Rimuru, his hands restlessly pulling and stretching Rimuru's body. It was quite a stress reliever, to be honest. Rimuru was resigned to the fact that Wang Yimo loved to pull at his elastic body every time. He didn't resist and let him do as he pleased. When had he become so tolerant? Rimuru didn't think about it, it all seemed so natural. Ah tilde, it's so cool and refreshing. It feels great, Wang Yimo said contentedly, feeling the coolness beneath him. Hey, that's enough, Xiao Mo. You really don't treat me like a person. And stop pulling with your hands. Rimuru was getting a bit fed up. The big battle was imminent, yet this guy was just relaxing. But you weren't a person to begin with. Neither am I, Wang Yimo replied flatly, though he did stop his hands. Rimuru was speechless. Well, he's not wrong, we really aren't human. He glanced at Wang Yimo, who was staring straight ahead, and followed his gaze. The direwolf clan had finished assembling, led by the Wolf King and the future Ranga. The filial son and the famous decapitation scene are about to happen. Wang Yimo thought of something funny, and the corners of his mouth slowly curled up. Seeing this, Rimuru thought Xiao Mo was interested in the battle. But he seemed to realize, why was he paying so much attention to Xiao Mo? Why? Forget it, don't think about it. Just deal with these guys first. The direwolf clan made their move. Under their leader's command, they approached the village as a group and stopped a short distance away. Weak goblins. Submit and you may live. Refuse, and only death awaits. Xiao Mo, what should we negotiate? Then you go negotiate, Rimuru. You're the boss. Hey tilde me. Why not you? It would be much easier if you showed your giant dragon form. Rimuru, don't you want to test your own strength? Fine. But if there's a problem, you have to provide backup quickly. Go with peace of mind. You aren't weak at all. Just as Rimuru was about to head down the wall to negotiate, the old village chief, whose strength had failed after holding his bow for too long, accidentally let an arrow fly. It landed just a few meters outside the wall. For a moment, both sides were silent. Rimuru jumped down from the wall and spoke. Direwolves, leave. I don't want to kill you. Several irritation marks appeared on the Wolf King's head. Rimuru really knows how to piss people off. A certain restless dragon thought to himself. He also jumped down from the wall to stand beside Rimuru. Yeah, leave quickly, or you'll die. The irritation marks on the Wolf King's head continued to multiply. An old geezer, a slime, and a lizard, just standing there blabbering on and on. You've infuriated me. Direwolves, attack. The direwolves began their charge. Looks like it had the opposite effect, Rimuru. It's all your fault. If you hadn't provoked them, they wouldn't have charged. My fault. Clearly, it's because you're such an insulting looking slime. Huh. If it weren't for the chief's arrow, it wouldn't have come to this. Then it's all the chief's fault. Yeah, it's all the chief's fault. While the dragon and the slime were arguing, a gaping maw suddenly lunged at them. But it stopped half a meter away. The direwolf leader was suspended in midair, caught in Rimaru's steel thread. Father. Leader. I'll leave this leader to you, Rimaru. I'll take care of the small fry. My son is no weaker than I am, and my subordinates will give their all. I don't believe a lizard can win. Rimaru nodded. Suddenly, an 18-meter-long giant dragon appeared, winding through the air. Its sky-blue eyes glinted with a dangerous light, and white mist billowed from its mouth. Dragon fear. The pressure brought by a massive high-ranking being and the surging volume of magicals left none of the direwolves able to move. It wasn't that they didn't dare, they simply couldn't. That's why I asked what you were struggling for. Xiaomo is a true dragon, how could he possibly be afraid of you? The direwolf leader was too stunned to speak. The terrifying amount of magicals and the dragon's body flickering in and out of the clouds all showcased its immense power. A true dragon. That's right. He's of the dragon kind, just temporarily sealed. Even a true dragon in its youth isn't something you can handle. Rimaru felt a bit of pride. After all, this was his partner. Kill me. If you kill me, our direwolf clan is willing to offer our loyalty. Right, you should have run away long ago. Wait, surrender. You want to become our subordinates? Yes. Kill me as an apology for our offense, and my son will submit. Why does it have to end in death? Isn't it better to stay alive? I am their king. If I do not die, it will be hard for them to submit to a new king. This is my choice, and I should sacrifice myself for it. A decapitation, though slightly different, that was the eventual outcome. Seeing the Wolf King dead, Wang Yimo released the pressure and gestured for Rimaru to make the decision. Thus, just like in the original story, Rimaru used his aura after mimicking the wolf to try and drive them away, but Ranga led them in submission anyway. Ranga and the others hadn't heard the conversation between Rimaru and his father. 1/12 of the 12 Guardian Kings. So now, both the direwolves and the goblin village are under our command, right, Rimaru? Wang Yimo asked lazily, still lying on top of Rimaru. That seems to be the case. Xiao Mo, do you have any thoughts? Rimaru didn't seem quite used to having so many subordinates. Not really. You're the boss, so you call the shots. As for me, I'll just go out and fight, or help out at home. Lazily, Wang Yimo even put his hands behind his head and crossed his legs. By the way, Elder, do you all have names? Lord Rimaru, we are low-level monsters and do not have names. My eldest son, Rigyur, was named by the passing Majin, Lord Gloomid. I see. Then I'll give you all names. It's too inconvenient not to have them. Rimaru didn't realize what was about to happen next. Really? That's wonderful. Thank you, Lord Rimaru. Hey, Rimaru, am I the only one who noticed this Majin named Gloomid? Wang Yimo wanted to give Rimaru a hint. Someone who names goblins probably isn't a bad person. Think whatever you want. Wang Yimo stopped worrying about it. If something goes wrong, I'll just fight it out. Though usually, nothing unexpected happens with this guy. Well then, Elder, gather the direwolf clan and the goblins. We have something to say. Yes, Lord Rimaru, Lord Jupiter. Xiao Mo, what are you going to talk about? Rules and order. True. As this village grows larger, there should be rules to govern everyone. Since you think so too, Rimaru, you should be the one to explain it. Wang Yimo became a hands-off manager once again. You really are something, Xiao Mo. He didn't mind Xiao Mo's behavior. After all, he considered himself the adult, so looking after him was only natural. Wang Yimo carried Rimaru and flew to an open space. Using the earth element, he created a simple chair. After placing Rimaru on it, he lay on Rimaru again, a piece of grass from who knows where in his mouth, sunbathing with his legs crossed. How leisurely. However, aside from Rimaru, probably no one dared to say anything. After all, the sight of that 180-meter dragon body from yesterday was still fresh in their minds. Just like in the original story, after telling a joke that no one understood, Rimaru began establishing the rules. First, do not attack humans. Second, no infighting. Third, do not look down on or bully weaker races. That's it. Any questions? A goblin raised his hand. It was the elder's younger son. All right, student. Lord Rimuru, why can't we attack humans? Ah, that question. First, I like humans. Second, attacking humans is a hassle. They are more complicated than us. Then why can't we look down on or bully weaker races? Because you were once weak too. If they become strong or form an alliance later, it will be a problem for us. This time, Wang Yimo explained. Yes, Xiao Mo is right. If there are no more questions. Xiao Mo, why are you raising your hand? If you have something to say, just say it. It's like this, let me add something. We don't go looking for trouble, but we aren't afraid of it either. All rules are meant to protect ourselves. If the other party comes with ill intent, then we fight. I will have your backs. Yes, Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter. Next was the naming ceremony. The order in my novel is slightly different. If you don't like it, please refer to the anime or the original work. After the naming began, the corners of Wang Yimo's mouth curled up again. Rigurd, Rigyur, Gobta, Gobuzu. Finally, the direwolf. Direwolf, Fang, Tempest, then I'll call you Ranga. Why is my head so dizzy? Xiao Mo, Sa tilde Vei Mi. Rimuru's last few words were slurred. Before he collapsed into a puddle of water, Wang Yimo quickly wrapped him in a cloth. Then, he quietly enlarged his own size and released magicules to protect him under his dragon form. During this time, Wang Yimo also gave out simple appointments, letting Rigurd and the others start the village's survival work, such as building houses, hunting, and patrolling the surroundings. A few days later, Rimuru woke up. As soon as he woke, he saw that inside a reasonably decent earthen house, a dragon was coiled around him. He was wrapped in a cloth. Although he was immune to heat and cold, it was likely done to prevent his passive skills from failing while he was unconscious. The dragon was still sleeping, but looking at the dragon protecting him, Rimuru smiled slightly. Thanks for your hard work, Xiao Mo, Rimuru whispered softly. What are you saying, Rimuru? Are you finally awake? Do you feel any discomfort? I'm fine, Xiao Mo. Nothing's wrong, don't worry. Thanks for taking care of me. Why so formal? We're close, aren't we? Seeing that Rimuru had recovered, Wang Yimo returned to his normal size and lay on Rimuru. Rimuru said nothing and looked at the house. There was no interior decor, just simple straw spread on the ground. In the middle was an earthen platform for him to rest while unconscious, and then some torches. At the doorway, there was only a piece of cloth serving as a door or curtain. Is Lord Rimuru awake? A muscular man rushed in. Who are you? It's me, Rigurd. It was like a bolt of lightning had struck. Rimuru was petrified, shocked beyond imagination. How can there be thunder on such a clear day? Looking at the stiff Rimuru beneath him, Wang Yimo showed an, as expected, expression. Although he had a premonition, he was still shocked when he first saw it. A complete transformation of a living goblin. Speaking of which, Xiao Mo, let me ask you something. Go ahead. Did you already know that naming monsters would drain my magicules? And did you also know the reason for Rigurd's massive change? Seeing Rimuru's unfriendly expression, Wang Yimo flew into the air, guiltily whistling with wandering eyes. He scratched his nose and said, Rimuru, I think I forgot to turn off the gas at home. I'll take my leave now. After saying that, he flew outside, not giving Rimuru a chance to chase him. Rimuru looked at Wang Yimo, who lied like a child and had expert escape skills, and smiled helplessly. What? Lord Rimuru is awake. Bang. The door was smashed open, or rather, the door was gone. Door. Tui, how can you be so selfish? Along with the departed door, there was also Rigurd, who seemed to have grown to 1.4 meters and was sent flying. The culprit behind all this was Ranga. Wagga, master. I am so happy to see you. Ranga's tail wagged frantically with joy. It's Ranga. Ah. Before Rimuru could finish, Ranga's tail had already whipped up a storm. The simple earthen house was destroyed. Not far away, Wang Yimo clenched his fists and shouted, my house is gone. Ranga, you're freaking finished. Seemingly realizing he had caused trouble, Ranga quickly dove into Rimuru's shadow. Wang Yimo flew over. Looking at the ruins, he shed tears of sadness. This was the first home for Rimuru and me. Wah. Rimuru patted Wang Yimo's head and said, it's okay, Xiao Mo. Next time, I'll build one with you. Okay. Ranga, Don't you dare come out if you have the guts. Wang Yimo was somewhat comforted, but still unable to let it go. He stomped on Ranga's eyes in the shadow while speaking angrily. Seeing this, Rimuru burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, Xiao Mo, who has such high combat power, is completely like a child, fighting with a shadow. Don't laugh at me, Rimuru. Wang Yimo turned red with embarrassment and directly grabbed Rimuru, pulling him like he was stretching dough. Rimuru, who instantly returned to his original shape, patted Wang Yimo's head and said, all right, don't be angry. I won't laugh at you anymore. Humph, I must sleep on top of you tonight. Fine, I promise. Rimuru met the named goblins one by one and couldn't help but marvel. This guy, the difference before and after evolution is as big as the difference between me and a human. Hey, how come one little brother hasn't changed? Tisk tisk, truly gifted. Gobta was so unique and conspicuous among the crowd. Wang Yimo glanced over. It was that gifted little brother, and also the one with a mouth so foul he could die at any moment. Lying on top of Rimuru, Wang Yimo asked celestial language, under what conditions can I transform into a human? Notice. You can do so now, but if you transform now, your physical age will be permanently locked in your youth. Then let's transform. A sudden flash of white light erupted from Wang Yimo, who was still on Rimuru, and a human appeared before Rimuru's eyes. Rimuru was completely stunned. Huh. A white light flashed, and a human appeared before Rimuru. He had white hair, the heavenly eye, and appeared to be an adolescent about 1.7 meters tall. Not particularly tall, as he hadn't fully finished growing yet. He was wearing clothes, a slightly loose uniform from Jujutsu Kaisen. As for why he transformed now instead of after awakening as a demon lord, that's my own headcanon. The protagonist's bloodline rank is very high, so it's only natural for things to be a bit different. He was incredibly handsome. Wait, Xiao Mo, you can turn into a human. Yeah, I only just found out myself. I could do it after receiving Veldora's protection, though for now, my transformation is locked to this age range. 1.7 meters is alright, I guess. Too bad you're not a 1.8 meter plus hunk. A certain someone didn't yet realize that his future height would only be around 1.5 or 1.6 meters. That doesn't matter. Our Xiao Mo is still very handsome, like a warm, boy next door type. HMPH, at least I can be human, and I actually have a gender. Ah, why is the world so unfair? I don't believe it, I need to verify this. Rimuru, feeling very annoyed, made an outrageous request. Wang Yimo flatly refused. Refusing to give up, Rimuru asked the great sage, and the result was true, Wang Yimo was male. This made Rimuru feel instantly dejected. Rimuru looked listless as he curled up in Wang Yimo's arms. Wang Yimo carried him toward the location of the feast hosted by Rigard. All the goblins they passed along the way watched Wang Yimo but said nothing. Is that Lord Jupiter? Rigard asked cautiously when he saw the newcomer carrying Rimuru. After receiving Wang Yimo's confirmation, he breathed a sigh of relief, and the feast began. Wang Yimo ate to his heart's content, but Rimuru did not. Rimuru had no sense of taste, and the sense of taste after mimicking was unsatisfactory, so he didn't bother mimicking anymore. Currently, Rimuru was mostly immersed in the sadness of Xiao Mo transforming into a handsome guy. However, deep down, there was a well-hidden spark of affection, though whether it was for this appearance or something else remained unknown. Wang Yimo noticed Rimuru's distraction, so he grabbed a meat skewer and went to Rimuru's side. He carried Rimuru up onto the village's earthen wall to watch the moonlight, then unexpectedly stuffed the skewer into Rimuru's mouth. The meat was automatically digested. Xiao Mo, why are you feeding me? Rimuru snapped back to his senses and looked at Wang Yimo. Rimuru, this is our first foothold in this world. Look at these guys, the joy of survival and the joy of evolution has made them this happy. Yeah, now that you mention it, I have to admit, we finally have a home in this other world. It's okay, Rimuru. I'll make sure you can eat delicious food. I can even cook for you myself. I didn't realize you could cook, Xiao Mo. Did you used to cook for a girlfriend? I didn't have a girlfriend in that world, or even a proper home. I liked anime because it allowed me to escape reality. It's okay, Xiao Mo. Here, you, me, and Veldora, we are a family. Perhaps Veldora, inside the stomach, heard this, as the mark from the depths of his soul warmed up, as if responding to this wish for a family. Wang Yimo looked at Rimuru, seemingly having realized something. Rimuru, I'm a slacker and very lazy. Many things in this world will have to be left to you, but there is one thing I am certain of. I will always stay by your side and protect you with everything I have until I die and fade away. Wang Yimo looked at Rimuru and spoke these words that sounded almost like a confession, then turned to look at the moon. It is still the same moon from this year, yet I am a stranger in a foreign land, Wang Yimo murmured to himself. Xiao Mo, don't worry, I will always stay by your side too. Rimuru said nothing more, simply staying quietly by Wang Yimo's side. At this moment, the souls of the two strangers truly resonated. Well then, for now, let's get the village in order, Lord Rimuru. Wang Yimo's mood had improved significantly, and he began to tease Rimuru. Don't call me, Lord, Xiao Mo. We're equals. Besides, it seems I can't beat you in a fight, Rimuru said weakly. Don't underestimate yourself, Rimuru. My heavenly eye can see that you are also a powerhouse. Nothing can be hidden from my eyes. Wang Yimo leaned down, looking at Rimuru with eyes as clear as the sky, filled with confidence and affirmation for him. Alright, I get it. Don't get so close. Being stared at from such a short distance made Rimuru feel more than a little embarrassed. During their conversation, neither had noticed that the feast, which should have been rowdy, had become somewhat quiet. Only now did Rimuru realize it. Let's go, Xiao Mo, otherwise everyone will worry. Wang Yimo carried Rimuru back to the village bonfire, where everyone was watching them. You guys. Rimuru hadn't even finished his sentence. Lord Rimuru and Lord Jupiter have returned. Let the feast continue. Rigurd organized the crowd again. Lord Rimuru is the best. XN. Lord Jupiter is so cool. XN. The two looked at each other and smiled. In this home in another world, Wang Yimo left a chaos mark. Early the next morning, a bunch of goblins and direwolves were lying scattered across the ground. Rimuru had poison resistance which neutralized the alcohol, so he was fine. Amidst the pile of goblins, Wang Yimo woke up. He didn't have poison resistance, but the alcohol in this world didn't seem very strong, so he wasn't drunk either. He rubbed his head and walked out. He didn't know which little brother had been restless in his sleep and kicked him. According to the Jujutsu Kaisen setting, he shouldn't be able to drink, but in the first chapter we gained immunity to mental damage. Basically, it's to prevent brain overload so he's fine. Plus, with the physical strength of a true dragon, he won't be crushed by the Raikugan, 6 eyes. Xiao Mo, don't you have poison resistance? Are you drunk? Rimuru saw Wang Yimo rubbing his head and thought he had been hungover from last night. No, how could I get drunk on such low-proof alcohol? Wang Yimo responded calmly, feeling a bit annoyed by Rimuru's slightly mocking gaze. Rimuru, if you need poison resistance just to drink, what joy is there in your life? He spoke in a calm tone, but it dealt the most devastating damage. Crack, crack. It sounded like the sound of someone's heart breaking. Yeah, gender swapped, no sense of taste, plus alcohol immunity, life seemed to have no meaning anymore. So Rimuru thought. Seeing the frozen Rimuru, Wang Yimo smiled. Rimuru, you better not try to provoke me. Ahahaha. The little person inside his mind was overjoyed, and in reality, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. Rimuru snapped out of it and saw this. Fine then, Xiao Mo, hitting me where it hurts like that, take this. Black thunder. Zap. Ah. Thud. Huh. What's going on? An enemy attack. The goblins and direwolves were all startled awake. They didn't react for a moment when they saw Wang Yimo lying on the ground with half-black, half-white hair, a soot-covered face, and a twitching body. Lord Jupiter, are you alright? XN. Don't mind him, he deserves it. Rimuru huffed, expressing his dissatisfaction, though it seemed the power was a bit high. As expected, I shouldn't use this move lightly. Looking at Wang Yimo, who was breathing out white smoke, Rimuru still burst out laughing. Ru, you, guy, you're, still, laughing. Although Wang Yimo had life aura, he hadn't activated it. He had taken the lightning head on just for fun, but he had definitely overdone it. It really hurt. Rimuru's strength truly couldn't be ignored. Alright, stop messing around. Rimuru poured a bottle of potion directly onto Wang Yimo. Wang Yimo stood up and tidied his hair. Notice. Contact with lightning. Skill lightning strike acquired. Lightning represents the wrath of heaven, the punishment of heaven, a power of destruction, as violent as a storm, yet also a power of light. When lightning streaks across the night sky, it brings a ray of light to the endless darkness. Notice. Comprehended lightning. Mastered chaos lightning. Skills chaos lightning annihilation and heavenly punishment with potential for evolution acquired. Tisk tisk. Getting struck by lightning grants skills. This is great. Wang Yimo thought to himself. Hey, Rimuru, can you zap me again? Wang Yimo requested. Huh. Could Xiao Mo's brain have been fried by the lightning? That won't do. What if he's broken? Rimuru thought. Notice. Individual Wang Yimo's brain has not been fried. Huh. Just looking for pain. Rimuru looked at Wang Yimo with eyes full of mockery. Hey, what's with that look? Wang Yimo was provoked by that gaze. Xiao Mo, there are some habits we shouldn't have, okay? Rimuru advised earnestly. He thought Wang Yimo had masochistic tendencies. What habits? You think I'm some kind of masochist? Wang Yimo's eyes flashed dangerously. Aren't you? You are full of it. Wang Yimo grabbed Rimuru in his hand and shouted each word loudly. Channeling Tiger King. Then why did you want me to strike you with lightning? Because when you struck me, I gained insight into a skill, Wang Yimo said, demonstrating chaos thunder. It was a bolt of lightning distinct from black thunder. Black-red lightning coiled around Wang Yimo like small dragons. His white hair drifted as the lightning pressured the air, and where the black-red lightning moved, even the light was struck dim. In that scene, the eyes of heaven brought a sense of divinity, his entire body brimming with an aura of destruction and judgment. It was oppressive and volatile. Oh, I see. Getting struck by lightning to gain skills, if that's not masochism, what is? Rimuru said one thing but thought another, looking at Wang Yimo with the pitying eyes one might give to the mentally challenged. You fool. Seeing Rimuru's eyes, Wang Yimo knew this jerk had definitely misunderstood. He, Rimuru, do you want to experience it too? Wang Yimo walked toward Rimuru, carrying the chaos thunder. Experience what? Just as Rimuru was wondering how to correct Wang Yimo's peculiar hobby, he turned around to see him coming. He was coming, walking over with the lightning. Wang Yimo reached out. Shatter with thunder. Wrong show. Anyway, the chaos thunder flew out quickly like a small dragon, striking a spot 1 meter away from Rimuru. Boom. A limited edition black slime skin appeared. Xiao Mo, you're not playing fair with a sneak attack. I was careless and didn't dodge. Rimuru spoke lightly, but as he used a healing potion to treat himself, both were stunned. The potion poured onto Rimuru was devoured by the chaos thunder, even the skill effects and magicules were suppressed. Wow, it seems I need to use this skill cautiously too, Wang Yimo said as he walked over to dispel the chaos thunder. As soon as his hand touched the lightning, it vanished like a loyal dog recognizing its master. Then Wang Yimo cast Life Aura. Xiao Mo, your skill is very powerful. Indeed, I will use it carefully. Rimuru, are you hurt anywhere else? No. It's just that your power is filled with destruction, it makes one's heart skip a beat. I hope this power doesn't change his personality. If you're fine, then it's good. That's just the nature of chaos energy, Wang Yimo replied flatly. It seemed that at some point, Wang Yimo's personality had become slightly distant toward everyone except Rimuru. He hadn't even noticed it himself, assuming he was just that kind of person. The villagers hid in the distance, watching the two lords, affectionate bickering, with fear. One hit from that and they'd be sent to another world. Once the two lords were finished, everyone began the village construction. After it was finished, well, those houses wouldn't even pass inspection if handed to a professional. Not just dilapidated, our Ranga blew one down with a single sneeze. Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter, we are indeed not very skilled in architecture. Nor in metallurgy, Rigard bowed 90 degrees in apology. Having reverted to his dragon form, Wang Yimo lay on Rimuru again. As expected, a cool and soft slime was the best. Then what should we do? Rimuru was at his wit's end. We can go to the armed nation of the dwarf kingdom, Dworgen, and find some dwarven craftsmen there, Rigyar suggested. The dwarf kingdom, huh? Good, it's decided then. Rimuru made the call, and Wang Yimo had no objections. Before that, on the hillside, atop Ranga's head, Rimuru asked Ranga if he felt any hatred regarding his father. Just like the original story, On the hillside, the slime flew in front while the dog, wolf, chased behind. Wang Yimo watched them quietly, smiling peacefully. Finally, the departure was decided. The little brother and his direwolf partner, Rigir and his partner, Rimuru, Wang Yimo, and Ranga formed a party to start exploring the map. Dworgen, the king of this nation, is the heroic dwarf King Gazel. He's very strong and has a Pegasus army. This nation is inclusive of all creatures, including monsters and elves. The nation centers on dwarven craftsmanship, producing weapons, armor, and machinery, the little brother introduced. I see. You mentioned elves, right? Rimuru's focus was indeed a bit different. Yes, genuine elves, Rigir and the little brother confirmed. Rimuru's eyes sparkled. Dworgen is so great. Wang Yimo didn't think much of it at first, but he found himself completely uninterested and even a bit annoyed. TCH. Let's keep our voices down, don't wake Xiaomo up. Rimuru thought they were disturbing Wang Yimo. The group whispered for the rest of the journey until they reached the outskirts of Dworgen. Looking at the long queue, Rimuru muttered, "Do we have to line up to enter the country? I think it's necessary. It prevents a lot of riffraff from entering." Wang Yimo expressed his approval of the inspection system. "Gobta, you go wait in line. Rimuru, Rigir, and I will wait here," Wang Yimo arranged. "Why, Xiaomo?" "Oh, to observe human malice." "Human malice?" they both asked. Gobta was already in line when an adventurer party arrived behind him. "We got nothing and ended up covered in injuries. Where can we get some money?" Hey, isn't this a goblin? Let's just kill it for some cash." "Hey, weak goblin, have you decided how you want to die? What are you trying to do? This is Dworgen, killing me is illegal. This is the outskirts, it's not protected by the law." The party of four smiled more and more wickedly. So this is human malice. Rimuru thought. He and Rigir couldn't help but clench their fists, wanting to intervene. Seeing the group about to get violent, many outsiders silently moved away. The mage of the adventuring party had already condensed a fireball and fired it at Gobta. Gobta couldn't help but shield his head, preparing to take the hit. Boom! The fireball exploded in the distance. Gobta opened his eyes, through the dust was a reassuring back. Turning his head slightly, the eyes of heaven shone brightly beneath the dust. "Yo, Gobta, you okay?" Wang Yimo had flashed over to the rescue. The moment the fireball was launched, Wang Yimo had dashed over and kicked it away. Rimuru and Rigir also revealed themselves. TCH, an evolved goblin and a weak slime. Is this your whole team? The foul-mouthed swordsman sneered with extreme arrogance. A vein popped on Wang Yimo's forehead. Though the man hadn't insulted him, he had insulted Rimuru. In the blink of an eye, only a puff of dust remained where Wang Yimo had been standing. The next second. Bam! A leg coiling with black-red lightning kicked the swordsman in the waist. The swordsman's body bent instantly, he spat out blood and was sent flying. Black Flash. Notice. Acquired skill, Black Flash. Under the influence of Chaos Thunder, it has evolved into the skill, Chaos Thunder Flash. TCH, so weak, yet you love to talk big. Whoa, why is Xiaomo suddenly so angry? Rimuru was a bit confused, but seeing Xiaomo's rage and the malice of these people, he also mimicked a direwolf and released strengthened intimidation. It was an instant team wipe, the opponents didn't even have time to react. Hey, what are you doing? Fighting is prohibited here. Kaido arrived late but surely, leading guards with spears at the ready. Wang Yimo raised his hands indifferently, while Rimuru reverted to his original form and hopped onto Wang Yimo's head. Rigir and Gobta also raised their hands. And so, the group entered Dworgen, if one ignored the handcuffs and leg irons. In the dungeon, the little brother was fast asleep, so Rimuru used steel threads to hang him up and give him a beating. Ah, he really has become a little prisoner, now. Wang Yimo leaned against the wall, laughing as he watched the little brother get thrashed. When did his personality start becoming so wicked? Hey, slime, goblin, and that man. The three named parties had question marks over their heads, pointing at themselves. Me. Is that man, for real? My name is Jupiter, Wang Yimo grumbled. Kaido walked to the cell door and said, the investigation is clear. They started it. However, you were too heavy-handed. You killed a guy with one kick. Also, the slime's intimidation caused mental trauma to many people. Except for that man, Jupiter, the rest of you can't leave until tomorrow. We can get out tomorrow. By the way, Xiao Mo, why were you so angry back then, to the point of killing someone? Rimuru was in a great mood after beating the little brother. It was nothing. I just heard him insulting you guys and lost my temper for a moment, Wang Yimo replied indifferently, as if it had nothing to do with him. He didn't say when Xiao Mo could get out, though. It doesn't matter. No one can stop me if I want to leave anyway. Wang Yimo was very confident. As an A- rank, he was quite powerful. At the very least, the pre-evolution orc disaster couldn't beat him. Even if he couldn't defeat King Gazel, he could still use Chaos Walk to escape, since he had a mark at home. True. Then we'll head out first, Xiao Mo. Rimuru trusted Wang Yimo's strength and didn't overthink it. As long as the guy's life wasn't in danger, he'd let him be. The little brother had fallen asleep again, so Rimuru and the others didn't bother with him. He just hung from the old cell's ceiling, dangling there like he was cosplaying as a slab of dead pork. Wang Yimo found the little brother, who was blowing snot bubbles, quite hilarious. The next day, Kaido came over again, preparing to open the door and release them. At that moment, a soldier arrived at the cell. Captain Kaido, emergency. An armored dragon has appeared in the mines. Where's the subjugation team? For original plot details, please watch the anime. Lives are at stake. We're preparing for war. Where are we supposed to get healing potions? Hey, Captain Kaido, why don't you take a look behind you? Wang Yimo saw Rimuru's movements and called out to Kaido, understanding the situation. Master Kaido, can you manage without the Thunder Bagua? Wang Yimo thought to himself. Nah, ni. Kaido turned around and saw a large barrel of healing potions. This should be enough, right? Lives are on the line, saving people is what's important, Rimuru reminded him. Without time to think or doubt, Kaido grabbed the barrel and left, releasing Rimuru and the others as he went. Only Wang Yimo and the little brother remained in the cell. Hey, Jupiter, thanks for the help, but no jailbreaking allowed. Kaido shouted back as he was about to leave. Well, we're heading out first, Xiao Mo, Rimuru said, waving goodbye to Wang Yimo. Wang Yimo leaned against the prison wall and nodded in response. I'll have to compensate Xiao Mo later, he looks a bit unhappy. Rimuru thought. However, he didn't forget the purpose of this trip. Finding dwarf craftsmen, understanding the social and political structure of the dwarf kingdom, and purchasing some missing resources. After they left the prison, Wang Yimo looked at the iron bars with indifference. Suddenly, he felt someone staring at him from the shadows. It made sense, he was considered a dangerous individual, so someone should be watching him. Still, it was quite annoying. I'll give you 3 seconds. Either get lost or come out and talk. Wang Yimo's eyes of heaven shone brilliantly, the surrounding air pressure dropped, and chaos thunder swirled around him. It seemed as if the prison would turn to ash in the next moment as his magical levels erupted explosively. Even the dwarf king sensed it. This amount of magicals, he's a handful, King Gazel sighed softly. Before he could even say, 3, the dwarf king's secret guard emerged. Wait a moment, Lord Jupiter calling a strong person, Lord, isn't a problem. I mean no harm. I am here on behalf of the Dwarf King to watch over you and ensure you don't go on a killing spree in the Dwarf Kingdom. I only came here to find some dwarf craftsmen. Personally, I don't like fighting and killing, but I don't mind a river of blood either. If there's anything else, have the Dwarf King come and talk to me himself. Wang Yimo retracted the Chaos Thunder, returning to his ordinary, albeit slightly handsome, appearance. Just not as handsome as the audience, of course. The secret guard was breaking out in a cold sweat, only now realizing his clothes were nearly soaked through. Without hesitation, he quickly vanished into the shadows and returned to the Dwarf King's inner cabinet to report everything that had just happened. In other words, the opponent is not inferior to me, right? Gazel pinched the bridge of his nose, feeling a headache coming on. Why had things been so restless lately? First, Beldora disappeared, then the racial free-for-all in the Jura forest, and now a mysterious powerhouse had suddenly visited. The monsters following him likely weren't ordinary either. Pass down the order, keep a close eye on all the monsters who came with Jupiter, report all their movements. Tell the assault team and the Pegasus Legion to prepare for battle. Do everything possible to prepare for a sudden conflict. Gazel couldn't guess their intentions, so he could only observe and minimize the possibility of a surprise attack. As for Jupiter, I'll go meet him myself. As king, I'll see what his intentions are. Gazel made no further arrangements, preparing to take his most trusted deputy to see Wang Yimou. Meanwhile, Wang Yimou was observing the little brother. The guy had actually managed to sleep through the moment when battle was about to break out. He probably just broke a sweat and thought it was a nightmare. Impressive, little brother. You didn't feel that pressure at all. Wang Yimou rubbed his chin while watching the guy. Outside, Rimuru had already struck up a conversation with Kaido. Thank you so much, Mr. Rimuru. It's really thanks to your healing potions. Honestly, I've never seen medicine with such great effects before. It's fine. Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. I'm just doing a good deed. But I'm sorry, Mr. Jupiter can't come out yet. It's fine, Xiaomo doesn't mind. As long as you don't provoke him, there shouldn't be any trouble, right? Rimuru suddenly lost his confidence as Wang Yimou's magicules began to surge. Who provoked him? Rimuru was a bit shocked. Don't cause trouble, Xiaomo. Not long after, the magicules calmed down. This made Kaido, who had stood up, sit back down. Good grief, what was going on? So, Mr. Rimuru, what is your purpose for coming here? Rimuru mentioned that the village needed craftsmen. In that case, let me introduce you. Ah, that would be a huge help. Don't mention it, it's just a small matter. Kaido led the way, taking Rimuru on a tour of the dwarf kingdom. Rimuru couldn't help but be impressed. Compared to the goblins, the dwarves' skills were indeed exquisite, giving him more confidence in finding craftsmen. Upon reaching the dwarf brothers' shop, Kaido pushed open the door and introduced Rimuru as their savior and the source of the healing potions. The dwarf brothers expressed their gratitude, and Rimuru was captivated by the superb dwarven handicrafts in the shop. Seeing that they were already chatting away, Kaido said his goodbyes and left. He needed to hurry back to the jail to see if anything had happened. Meanwhile, Rigier went to buy some small handicrafts, design blueprints, books, paper, and so on. The work outside was proceeding in an orderly fashion. Inside the dark jail, water dripped onto the floor. Dim torches flickered, and Wang Yimou leaned against the wall, lost in thought. The door creaked open. Wang Yimou's gaze suddenly shifted toward the entrance of the cell block. Clank, clank. The sound of many suits of armor clashing as people walked. Splash. A heavy sound of stepping in water. In the dark prison, shadows gradually shortened under the torchlight. Hey, you're here. Wang Yimou looked at the figure and smiled slightly. A large squad of soldiers surrounded Wang Yimou's cell. They stood fully armed on both sides, waiting for someone to appear. Two people arrived under the torchlight, King Gazel and his deputy, the vice leader of the Pegasus Legion. Quite the reception, Dwarf King. Silence, insolent fool. A prisoner is not permitted to speak without the king's permission. The deputy immediately interrupted Wang Yimou. TCH. If I wanted to do something, I doubt you lot could stop me. Wang Yimou wasn't exaggerating. He could tell King Gazel's magicule count was likely A+, but ratings in actual combat are two completely different things. Wang Yimou could easily destroy a city, but in a restricted duel, Gazel might not even have a chance to win. What makes you think you can contend with a true dragon? Especially since you aren't an awakened demon lord. Before he could finish, King Gazel stopped him. In truth, he wasn't a brainless brute. As the vice leader of the Legion and the king's right-hand man, he couldn't rely on martial force alone. But to uphold the king's dignity, he had to act that way. Jupiter, that's the name, right? Let's have a talk. King Gazel spoke to Wang Yimou through the cell bars. Is this how you have a talk with someone? Wang Yimou stood up and walked to the bars. The two faced off across the fragile iron gate, their eyes seemingly sparking with fire as the confrontation began. A small cell, but heavy with the smell of gunpowder. The atmospheric pressure dropped lower and lower. Even Gobta woke up. Though he was shocked to find himself tied up and gagged, the situation between the two before him was clearly the priority. At this distance, they're either going to kiss or start fighting. Wang Yimou was surrounded by lightning, and Gazel gripped his sword hilt. It seemed they would clash at any moment. Not going to show your true face, Jupiter. King Gazel spoke helplessly. Yo, you found me out. Wang Yimou's brow twitched slightly, seemingly a bit surprised. Ha ha ha, that body of yours suppresses your magicals count, I can tell. Let's be honest with each other, neither of us has any ill intent, do we? King Gazel remained hearty. Alright then. You'd better not be too shocked. Wang Yimo began to transform back into his dragon form. What's there to be, show, CKED about, Nani? King Gazel saw a dragon unlike any other, appear before him. The dragon's aura revealed a strength no less than that of a true dragon. Some soldiers' legs began to go weak. A dragon? Are you serious? King Gazel swallowed hard. Good grief, it was lucky they didn't start a fight. If they had, this thing could have leveled his home. After all, would someone with an aura as strong as a true dragon be easy to deal with? Trying it would mean dying. My size is 18 meters, you know. I'm already suppressing myself quite a bit. This last sentence made King Gazel break out in a cold sweat. Why is it so hot in this dungeon? Wang Yimo changed back into human form and looked at the group with a smile. So, what is your purpose in coming to Dworgen? It can't just be for tourism. I think you've already gotten the answer from Rimuru. Tisk, and what about you? Why are you staying in this cell so peacefully? Kaido said so, I respect your laws and regulations. After all, I am the dragon of chaos and order, how could I not respect order? He didn't say this part out loud. Wang Yimo curled his lip and spread his hands to show it didn't matter. Huh, no one would believe a reason like that. King Gazel clearly didn't believe this guy was being so honest. As long as you don't provoke me, I won't do anything. I told you, I don't like fighting and killing. So, how much longer are you people going to stand here? Wang Yimo still looked cool, but his gaze was somewhat dangerous. With a glance from King Gazel, the soldiers felt as if they had been granted a general amnesty and quickly left the dungeon. Inside the dungeon, King Gazel, his aide, Wang Yimo, and Gobta were all silent for a moment. The little brother was gagged and couldn't speak. That slime, is its strength the same as yours? King Gazel didn't know what to do for a moment. Rimuru, I think you have an idea, don't you? Wang Yimo didn't explicitly say they were equals, letting Gazel figure it out for himself. It seems neither of them is easy to deal with, King Gazel thought to himself. Then, do you want to leave? Since you have no ill intent toward us, I can't keep you imprisoned forever. King Gazel was helpless. As long as he didn't cause trouble, he'd leave him be. Since you said so, I'll head out. The environment in this place really isn't great. Wang Yimo stood up and rubbed his neck. Then I shall pardon your crimes, Jupiter. But it's a deal. Don't mess around in my country. King Gazel chose to trust him. After all, the fact that this guy stayed obediently in the dungeon showed he had principles. There weren't many troublemakers in his country, he just hoped that guy wouldn't be so unlucky. Your Majesty, Kaido requests an audience, the aide mentioned. Gazel nodded for him to enter. Kaido, what took you so long? My king, please forgive my dereliction of duty. I went to help my benefactor with some things and returned late. Was Mr. Jupiter disrespectful to you? Kaido knelt on one knee and lowered his head, waiting for the king's reprimand. It's fine. I've pardoned Jupiter. Take him out now to find his friend. Huh. Kaido didn't understand for a moment why he had been pardoned. Does the king's order need to be repeated? The aide nearby interrupted Kaido's daze. Yes, I obey the king's command. Kaido looked up at Wang Yimo and met that guy's mischievous gaze and a hint of an ambiguous smile. Ah, speaking of which, Your Majesty, there's something I need your help with. Let's hear it. Gazel stopped just as he was about to walk away. I want to go buy some things, but I don't have any money. So, Wang Yimo's smile grew even more wicked. He felt like laughing just thinking about what he was going to do later. You actually don't have money. King Gazel's brow twitched, he hadn't expected him to say such a thing. Ha 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 ha, interesting. If possible, we could become friends. Gazel was a hardy man and was clearly interested in a unique character like Wang Yimo. Aren't we friends already? Wang Yimo smiled. Fine. Kaido, accompany him on his shopping trip, the expenses will be reimbursed afterward. Gazel left with a grin, leaving Kaido and Wang Yimo staring at each other. As for the little brother, he had fallen asleep again. Wang Yimo didn't bother with him. Then let's go, Lord Kaido. Wang Yimo smiled, his tone light, as if the confrontation with Gazel was a trivial matter. Please don't mock me, Lord Jupiter. By the way, are you going to find Mr. Rimuru? No, we're going to buy clothes. We'll have a chance to see him. Wang Yimou had an expression like he had seen through everything. Kaido was once again confused. But he didn't think too much about it and accompanied Wang Yimou as they wandered. Looking at this steampunk-like city, Wang Yimou felt that no matter the world, dwarves were synonymous with technology. They entered a clothing store with magicals engravings, filled with many engraved magic clothes of different materials. Wang Yimou looked around and settled on a white adventurer's outfit in the style of noble formal wear with a cape. He had a vague feeling he would use it. He also had engraving magic added to the clothes he was wearing, nothing more than self-cleaning, magicals protection, and physical and magical defense. Then it was time to buy clothes for Rimuru. Thinking about how that guy would eventually become feminized, Wang Yimou planned to buy some women's clothing. Yes, that was why Wang Yimou had been laughing so happily before leaving the prison. Watching Wang Yimou pick up women's clothes with a gradually perverted smile, Kaido shuddered. Good grief, he couldn't be a pervert, could he? What are you thinking? This is for Rimuru-san. Wang Yimou instantly understood what kind of dirty thoughts Kaido was having. Mr. Rimuru. Kaido could hardly believe it. Rimuru is genderless, but leans a bit towards being feminine. Better to buy early and be prepared. Wang Yimou smiled, stroking his chin. Kaido seemed to realize this person's wicked sense of humor. Two grown men stood there with their arms around each other's shoulders, laughing inexplicably at a piece of women's clothing. Beneath their smiling faces, they pointed their index fingers at each other. The shop clerk silently moved away. Meanwhile, at the dwarven weapon shop, Rimuru helped the dwarf brothers complete an impossible order. Before going to the Night Butterfly, Rimuru planned to buy a weapon for Wang Yimou. Although it might not be very useful, it was a gesture of goodwill. On Kaijin's suggestion, he planned to forge a Tang Hengdao, since Xiaomo came from China, after all. To forge a blade, with Rimuru providing the materials, the dwarf brothers were not the least bit sloppy, focusing entirely on the forging. During the process, Rimuru added engraving magic to it, a demon-breaking sword that could continuously disrupt the magical's usage of the target it struck, suppressing healing magic. The blade was sharp, and the pitch-black body looked even cooler after adding magiculus. Xiaomo will like it, Rimuru thought. Once he saw the women's clothing, he probably wouldn't be able to laugh anymore. As he stored the sword in his stomach, a memory that didn't exist appeared in Rimuru's mind. A phantom-like scene. The ground was covered in blood, including his own hands. Wang Yimou lay on the ground with a sword pierced through his heart, blood gushing out. Looking at his hands, Rimuru was startled awake. What was going on? Why is it like this? Will Xiaomo die? Rimuru didn't dare believe it or think about it. How could this be? One step at a time, maybe it won't happen. Right. Stopping those thoughts, Kaijin came to Rimuru's side and asked, Lord Rimuru, are you sure you want to go to the Night Butterfly? Your friend won't be unhappy if he finds out, will he? What are you saying, Kaijin? I've wanted to see elves for a long time. Besides, even though I didn't bring Xiaomo, that guy shouldn't be of age yet. I've also brought him a sword as compensation. It's fine. Rimuru felt a bit guilty, but not much. Beautiful elf sisters, here I come. Tisk. Alright, let's go. To the Night Butterfly. Kaijin, the Dwarven brothers, and Rimuru shouted happily. The group went excitedly to the Night Butterfly, Rimuru's happy house, though the happiness wouldn't last long. The process of becoming female needs to speed up. As expected, no matter the world, elves are wonderful. Rimuru thought to himself, while Kaijin and the others didn't feel the same way. The elves crowded around Rimuru, leaving them to drink gloomily by themselves. I really didn't expect Master Rimuru to be so popular. Kaijin looked at Rimuru with a hint of envy. Only Murd nodded along in agreement. Master Rimuru, please have another drink. Would Mr. Rimuru like to test for his fated person? Fated person. Is it accurate? Rimuru became interested. He was also curious about who his other half in this different world would be. He placed his hand on the crystal ball. The crystal ball of destiny began to flash with images. Unsurprisingly, it was Shizu, but for a split second, chaos flickered, and a pair of gold and red heterochromatic eyes stared back at them through the crystal ball. At some point in the future. TCH, was I being watched? It's you. Ha ha ha. Who is this? Rimuru couldn't help but ask. He had no memory of anyone with such heterochromatic eyes. If he had seen them, he surely wouldn't have forgotten eyes that special. It seems Mr. Rimuru has two fated people, the fortune-telling elf said. Ah, Master Rimuru is quite fortunate. Kaijin and the others weren't surprised. After all, anything is possible in this world, so what did this matter? Is that so? I'm feeling a bit embarrassed, Rimuru said, scratching his head. Yo, Kaijin, it doesn't seem like you should be here right now, a sharp, sarcastic voice called out. It's you, Vesta, Kaijin replied bluntly. I recall the delivery is due tomorrow. If you can't deliver, you'll be going to jail, Vesta said, his voice dripping with schadenfreude. We've already made the delivery. This is none of your business, Vesta. Seeing that his goal couldn't be met, Vesta simply switched targets. I wonder if the night butterfly even knows how to run a business, actually entertaining a low-level monster like a slime. Vesta, you can target me, but don't take your anger out on Master Rimuru. Vesta picked up a glass of wine and poured it over Rimuru. Is that any way to speak to a minister of the kingdom, Kaijin? It's just a low-level monster, what of it? A low-level monster, you say? A cold voice came from behind Vesta. Yeah, there shouldn't be any monster lower than a slime. Vesta didn't realize at all who had arrived behind him. He turned around to see Wang Yimo, who was emitting an extremely low-pressure aura, accompanied by Kaido. Just as Wang Yimo was about to make a move. Thwack! Kaijin sent Vesta flying with a single punch. No matter who it is, I won't allow anyone to insult Master Rimuru. Kaijin was already beyond furious. Wang Yimo walked over to Vesta, intending to finish the job. Stop, Xiao Mo. Please don't, Mr. Jupiter. Rimuru and Kaido both spoke up at the same time to stop Wang Yimo. TCH. Wang Yimo walked over to Rimuru, picked him up, and used his own clothes to wipe Rimuru's body. There was an indescribable mix of anger and heartache. He knew the plot, but it was still hard to control himself when it happened right in front of him. I'm fine, Xiao Mo. You mustn't attack, he's a minister. Wang Yimo looked at Vesta again, a dangerous aura permeating the air. Vesta sensed he was being stared at by a terrifying creature. He grabbed Kaido and said, You saw him strike a minister of the kingdom with your own eyes, you should know what to do. Sorry, big brother, but I really can't stand by when a minister gets punched. The group, who hadn't been out for long, was once again taken to the dungeon. The little brother was still asleep. Rigier was waiting outside with the purchased goods to meet them. Hey, Xiao Mo, I'm sorry for dragging you into this again. It's fine. By the way, why did you go to the night butterfly? Well, just went to take a look. Hey, it's not like I went to play behind your back. Rimuru felt a sense of being caught in the act. Anyway, Xiao Mo, how did you know we were there? Kaido took me to the shop to find you. When you weren't there, it was easy to guess. Wang Yimo didn't care about Rimuru going out to play, nor did he care about what feelings Rimuru had for him, because he didn't even know what his own feelings were for this world. I'm truly sorry, Master Jupiter, Master Rimuru, for involving you. Actually, Vesta is a good person at heart, we just had a disagreement. Kaijin, do you want to come with us? After this matter is over, Rimuru asked. Of course. We four brothers will be following you from now on. Yes. Then there's no such thing as being involved or not. No matter what, you are already our companions. Wang Yimo also responded to Kaijin. Let me introduce him. This is Jupiter, an incredibly strong guy. You'll feel safe with him around. I've made a fool of myself at our first meeting, Master Jupiter. Please look after us in the future. Kaijin was the first to state his position. Please look after us. We need talented people like you. It's us who should ask you to look after us in the future, Wang Yimo replied with a smile, his mood slightly improved. Rimuru's startup team is really coming together. The next day, on the day of the trial, the group was brought for questioning. They walked into the royal hall, lined with soldiers on both sides. The high judge was already in place. His Majesty the King has arrived, the deputy, Delph, shouted. Everyone knelt on one knee in salute. Gazel walked into the hall and sat on the throne. Before he could even get comfortable, he saw those familiar faces below. Is there some kind of pattern these past 2 days? Now, the trial for Kaijin's assault on Minister Vesta will begin. Just like in the original story, the defense council was bribed, and the group was sentenced directly. Wang Yimou and Rimuru were banned from entering the dwarf kingdom. Kaijin and the others were sentenced to the mines. Just as the case was about to be closed. Yo, Kaijin, how have you been lately? One can only speak with the king's permission. I am grateful for your majesty's concern. I have been very well lately, Kaijin replied, neither humble nor arrogant. Then, are you still willing to work for me? We already belong to Master Rimuru and Master Jupiter. Please forgive me for being unable to serve under you. I see. In that case, I sentence Kaijin and the others to exile. Meeting adjourned. Kaijin and the others left. King, you can't let Kaijin go. He spoke such disrespectful words of betrayal right in front of you, Vesta continued relentlessly. Vesta, in truth, the one who failed me was you. I have been waiting for you for many years. He then showcased Rimuru's potions and Wang Yimou's strength. Because of you, we lost the possibility of forming a friendship with these two monsters, and I also lost an important subordinate. A guy like Kaijin. Vesta didn't finish his sentence. Vesta, don't you understand yet? I know everything. I have been waiting for you to repent. The subordinate I lost was you. How could this be? Vesta shed tears of repentance. Big brother Kaijin, you all must live well. Come back and visit if you can in the future, Kaido said, seeing them off at the gate. Yeah, Kaido, you take care of yourself too. Now then, criminals, please leave Dworgen. We are exiling you according to the law. Also, have a safe journey. Kaido watched his big brother leave, his eyes slightly moist. They hadn't gone far when Rigure arrived with a carriage to greet them, accompanied by Gobuzu and others as guards. Master Rimuru, we'll be under your management from now on, Kaijin said with a grin, sitting in the carriage. No problem. With me and Xiao Mo, we definitely won't let your talents go to waste. Please, don't include me. You are the leader of the village. Wang Yimou transformed back into his dragon form and lay on Rimuru. Since he had already explained things to the Dwarven brothers, he didn't care about anything and just did whatever was comfortable. Then, the Dwarven brothers briefly introduced their areas of expertise. This immediately made Rimuru happy, as it covered housing, clothing, weaponry, and daily necessities. Everything was suddenly complete, with nothing left to fill in. Tisk tisk, it's destiny. This lineup covers every aspect. Truly worthy of a protagonist. Looking at Wang Yimou, Rimuru remembered that inexplicable vision. I must find out who hurt Xiao Mo. Don't worry, Xiao Mo, I won't let you be harmed. Notice. Having experienced a trial, you have gained a preliminary understanding of order. Order ability unlocked 1/10. Skill obtained. Judgment. After Rimuru's group was out of sight, King Gazel let down his guard. Have someone keep an eye on them. Celestial language, tell me about judgment. Confirmed. Judgment. A conceptual skill. If the target violates the evil you have designated, you gain execution and suppression effects against them. They are judged as a sinner and marked within range unless the effect is manually deactivated. Can I judge anyone? Yes, anyone. Not bad. A conceptual skill is quite good, there should be room for development. So, how do I define what I consider evil? Confirmed. You may define evil yourself. It can be made public or kept private. If made public, the effects of judgment will double. Then let's start defining it. Rule 1 Hidden. Rule 2 Traitors are defined as evil. Rule 3 Those who destroy homes are defined as evil. Rule 4 Those who harm the innocent are defined as evil. Rule 5 Those who violate morality are defined as evil. Rule 6 Those who bully the weak are defined as evil. Rule 7 Those who cause massive casualties without cause are defined as evil. I should tell Rimuru when I get the chance. Promulgating these rules should help stabilize the village. But I'll keep the 3 rules Rimuru set before. Confirmed. Order establishment complete. Acquired skill. Crime and punishment. Skill introduction. Criminals within the designated range will receive divine punishment. Perfect. This can be used to deal damage, they complement each other. The carriage, or rather, the wolf carriage, as direwolves pulling a carriage was quite a spectacle, slowly came to a halt. Rimuru got off the carriage and saw a large group of unevolved goblins. Wang Yimou watched this scene, looking at Rimuru with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Lord Rimuru, these goblins heard of our town and all wish to join your ranks. Do you think we should take them in? Rigurd was still flexing his muscles and posing, he certainly had a flair for it. Since they want to come, then let them come. Rimuru made a certain resolution. So, after naming them all, Rimuru went straight into a deep sleep for 3 days. During these days, everything was handled by Rigurd, except for a few major matters like house construction, village layout, and personnel transfers, for which Rigurd sought out Wang Yimo. Usually, no one went to find him. It seems like in this family, I'm dispensable. Oh well, proposing the crime and punishment system should help the village later. Wang Yimo sat on a treetop, watching the busy crowd and the village under construction while thinking idle thoughts. With nothing to do, he went to Veldora's cave to test his skill strength and practice his skill proficiency. Consequently, the sound of explosions never ceased within the cave. The surrounding monsters had all fled, and no creature dared to approach. 3 days later, Rimuru woke up. What can I say? The amount of magicules that surged after being exhausted was simply off the charts. Compared to Rimuru, my magicule capacity just can't compete, even if my attack power is a bit stronger. Kaijin was in charge of weapons, Garm was in charge of armor, Dold was in charge of handicrafts, and Murd was in charge of house construction. Incidentally, these brothers also taught many of the evolved goblins. As for Rigurd, he was already the Goblin King. After many subordinate villages became his vassals, his title evolved. Everything is flourishing, Rimuru. Wang Yimo, Rimuru, and Ranga sat on a small hillside, watching it all. Yeah, Xiao Mo. Everything is on the right track. Our home is about to get much better. Hey, Rimuru, I've established some rules of order. Do you want to take a look? Sure. It's rare for Xiao Mo to be so proactive. Rimuru was also a bit curious, as this guy was famously known for doing nothing. What's that supposed to mean? Seriously. You make it sound like I'm just a freeloader. Aren't you? Rimuru muttered softly. What did you say? Nothing, nothing. Hurry up and let me see. So, Wang Yimo handed Theshevan sins, he had thought of to Rimuru. They're quite good and can maintain order in the village, but aren't they a bit too absolute? Should we discuss the evaluation criteria? I didn't think that far ahead, these are just preliminary suggestions. That's fine. I'll tell everyone about it in a bit. Wang Yimo nodded, transformed back into his dragon form, and leaned against Rimuru to enjoy the breeze and warm sun. Ranga, beneath Rimuru, also sat quietly. Folks, the 2 big bosses of our village are right on top of me. If I jolt even a little, will I still live? So, how did your expedition team's investigation go? I just want to take a bath. I want to rest. I'm the one who's most tired, having to mediate the arguments between the master and the young lady. Fitz's brow furrowed, appearing a bit angry. Kabaru hurriedly began his report. Indeed, Veldora had disappeared, and the monster caves were in total chaos. Meanwhile, the Eastern Empire showed no movement, which meant Fitz couldn't let his guard down. So, he gave Ellen and the others 3 days of leave to investigate the Jura Great Forest. There was also a new helper. In the evening, at the village meeting, the goblins had built a temporary podium. Rimuru and Wang Yimo stood on the stage. Everyone, for the sake of the village's order and stability, Xiaomo has set the following rules. Please listen. Wang Yimo introduced the 7 rules, but no one spoke, everyone was looking at Rimuru. Well, I also approve of these. Everyone must follow them, and we will refine the details later, Rimuru added when he saw that everyone was unresponsive. Oh, long live Lord Rimuru. We will certainly carry them out. Watching this scene, Wang Yimo's brow furrowed deeply. It seemed as if this home had nothing to do with him. None of the villagers responded to him, yet they were staunch supporters of Rimuru. Whatever, this is fine too. At least they are loyal to Rimuru. Rimuru is my family, so it's the same. Wang Yimo comforted himself internally, but his sense of belonging to the village seemed to weaken. With the establishment of the rules finished, the 2 of them stepped down from the stage. Seemingly sensing Wang Yimo's mood, Rimuru hopped onto Wang Yimo's head to soothe him. Xiao Mo, this is our home. It's not that everyone is ignoring your opinion. It's fine. Being loyal to you is no different from being loyal to me, right? Wang Yimo stopped overthinking. After all, the mark deep in his soul wouldn't lie to him. However, a sense of estrangement had taken root in his heart. It was mutual, not one-sided. So, you're still being rejected. Is there still no place for you in the other world? Even like this, is there no home where you can settle down? Is all that family stuff just a lie? A voice appeared in the depths of his heart, filled with negative emotions. It seemed to take pleasure in the situation Wang Yimo was facing. Where is that voice coming from? Wang Yimo was startled and couldn't help but ask aloud. What voice? Xiao Mo, what's wrong? Is someone talking to you? Rimuru looked puzzled. He hadn't heard anything. Is the injury Xiao Mo suffered related to some mysterious voice? No, it's nothing, Rimuru. I must be hallucinating, Wang Yimo explained, as the voice had vanished. Is he family? Will he always be on your side? Ha ha ha, are you two really being honest with each other? It's back again. Wang Yimo said no more and flew away directly. Rimuru had no way of knowing what was going on, and he couldn't monitor Xiao Mo. What should he do? Rimuru also looked troubled. Who exactly are you? Wang Yimo asked coldly. Me. You can't know that yet. I also want to know how I awakened, but I won't hurt you. The voice was eerie. It was a voice full of temptation. Celestial language, tell me what's going on. Confirmed. Insufficient permissions to explain. Becoming increasingly irritable, Wang Yimo left the village and began a slaughter of mindless monsters. Battles broke out across the forest. Feeling the frustration in his heart swept away, Wang Yimo returned to the village with a large number of carcasses. Handing the carcasses over to the cooks, Wang Yimo left immediately. He didn't even eat dinner. Rimuru was worried. The house for Rimuru and Wang Yimo to rest in hadn't been built yet, so they could only stay in a simple hut for the time being. In the past, Wang Yimo would always transform back into his dragon form and sleep nestled with Rimuru. But today, Rimuru felt the space beside him was empty. Wang Yimo hadn't come back to sleep, and he couldn't even be sensed with magical perception. Rimuru suddenly panicked and used the soul mark to search for him. Following the beacon of the soul mark, Rimuru found Wang Yimo. It was at the place where they first met. Only, he wasn't inside the cave, but on the hilltop, watching the moon. He sat there quietly, all alone. Under the moonlight, his white hair fluttered, and his eyes of heaven grew sometimes bright and sometimes dim. It was as if he was born this way, lonely, as if he didn't belong to this world. Looking at Wang Yimo on the hilltop, Rimuru felt an inexplicable blush. Xiao Mo was quite handsome. But it seemed he hadn't yet found a sense of belonging in this world. Rimuru thought to itself. Xiao Mo, why did you come here? Rimuru, I just felt a bit stifled. I wanted to come out and get some air, Wang Yimo said in a muffled voice. Then let's have a sparring match. I think it will help relieve your stress. Are you sure? Wang Yimo looked at Rimuru. Seeing that Rimuru's gaze was sincere, Wang Yimo patted its butt and stood up, leapt down from the hilltop, and slowly walked into the cave. Only here was the most suitable place for a fight. Rimuru also arrived in the cave and saw that Wang Yimo was already prepared. How could one tell he was ready? The low pressure surrounding him, the crackling thunder, the bright eyes of heaven in the dim cave, and the smile on Wang Yimo's lips. The volume of magicules surged rapidly, and the air seemed to distort. Hey, Rimuru, you noticed it, didn't you? Yes, Xiao Mo. The soul imprint not only allows us to find each other's location but also alerts us if the other is in critical condition. Rimuru also quickly mobilized its magicules and entered a combat state. Since it lacked a human form, Rimuru transformed into a Tempest Star Wolf. Then, we can have a serious fight. Wang Yimo was somewhat excited, his tone carrying a hint of frenzy that no one noticed. Then come on, Xiao Mo. Wang Yimo exerted force with his feet, instantly kicking up a cloud of dust, and in the blink of an eye, he reached beneath Rimuru, clenching his right hand as black-red thunder surged rapidly. Chaos Thunder Flash. The thunder distorted space, and this punch landed directly on Rimuru's abdomen. Rimuru had already used body armor and added Black Thunder to bolster its defense, but it was still knocked flying, retreating several meters away with blood spilling from the corner of its mouth. This guy really isn't holding back. In that case, I'll go all out, too. Rimuru's temper flared. The Black Thunder struck Wang Yimo, but the Chaos Dragon armor around him absorbed the blow. He was knocked back a few steps and didn't feel too good either, but he could finally fight without holding back. Perhaps to relieve the gloom, or because both sides were focused on the battle, No one noticed that a patch of white hair on the top of Wang Yimo's head had turned black, and his face had grown a bit more crazed. Come on, Rimuru, let me see your strength. Rimuru opened its mouth. Black flames gathered in its wolf maw, while black thunder condensed on the horns atop its head, combining together into black flame thunder. Accompanied by extreme heat and crackling thunder, this was a serious attack from Rimuru. Wang Yimo transformed into his dragon form, opened his small mouth, and unleashed chaos dragon breath. The white dragon breath and the black flame thunder clashed. Explosive sounds echoed incessantly in the cave. Although, as the saying goes, the one on the left always loses a beam struggle, Rimuru's magical volume was greater than Wang Yimo's, so the white flames gradually couldn't withstand the pressure. Just as the black flame thunder was about to hit, Wang Yimo transformed into his human form, dispelled his defenses, and spread his arms, embracing the destructive flame thunder. Xiao Mo, what are you doing? Rimuru couldn't stop it in time and could only forcibly cut off the subsequent supply of magicules, but a significant amount had already been fired. Boom, boom, boom. Large fires burned and thunder crackled. The situation inside was unclear, and the surrounding environment had been battered beyond recognition. Xiao Mo. Rimuru felt through the soul imprint that Wang Yimo's condition was not good. Xiao. Stop calling out, I'm not dead yet. Wang Yimo appeared behind Rimuru, looking a mess. Are you okay? How are you feeling? Why didn't you activate your skills? Why didn't you dodge? Rimuru was anxious. In this anxiety, there was concern for family, and an inexplicable fear, the fear of loss. I just thought taking one hit wouldn't matter. Rimuru, let's continue fighting when you can mimic a human form, otherwise, I'm just bullying you. Wang Yimo scratched his head nonchalantly. He wasn't a battle maniac, but after the fight, he really felt much better, even enjoying that frenzy. In his heart, there was an added touch of frenzy for destruction and ruin, as well as a tendency for self-destruction. Yes, that's it. Just destroy, just return to chaos. Deep within his heart, a pair of red eyes glowed faintly, then faded into invisibility. Wang Yimo didn't hear these whispers. He tidied himself up and looked at Rimuru, who still wore a worried and angry expression. What's wrong? What's wrong, you ask? Don't do that again, or I won't spar with you anymore. Rimuru looked indignant. Alright, I understand. Wang Yimo picked up Rimuru with a face full of doting affection. Rimuru broke free from Wang Yimo's embrace, jumped onto his head, and gave him a knuckle rap. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So you still know pain. If you were any weaker, you might have died just now. You scared me to death. Rimuru was angry, fearful in hindsight, and also felt some heartache. I know, I won't die easily. Wang Yimo coaxed Rimuru. Then you still need to be careful. Rimuru rubbed around on Wang Yimo's head. Hi, I'll listen to you. Wang Yimo agreed. At least Rimuru cares about me, doesn't it? Notification. Obtained Chaos Fire Fragment, 3/5. Obtained Chaos Thunder Fragment, 4/5. Understanding that chaos is destruction and ruin, obtained Chaos Fragment, 3/10. Born with 2 Chaos Fragments, but the Chaos Fragments have just awakened. You should know when they awakened, right? Very good. We will meet soon. Let me give you a welcome gift. Notification. Unlocked Chaos Space Storage, Skill Practice, Ceiling, Containment. Obtained Skill Chaos Space Warp, combined with Chaos Walk to generate the skill Chaos God Walk. By the way, Xiao Mo, how did you get behind me? Rimuru recalled Wang Yimo's teleportation just now. It's my skill, Chaos God Walk. I have a mark on you, so I can teleport directly anywhere beside you. I also left a mark in our village, just in case. Wang Yimo said it straightforwardly without any concealment. Then when did you mark me? How come I didn't know? When we left the cave, I was lying on you and marked you while I was at it. While I was at it. Great sage, why didn't you tell me? Notification. The other party had no malicious intent, so there was no alert. Fine. The two returned to the village. It was past midnight, so they grabbed some sleep. The next day, whether it was because of poor sleep or something else, Wang Yimo was listless. Although in everyone's eyes he was always like this, there was a hint of something unusual in this listlessness. Lord Rimuru, with our combined efforts, the residence for you in Jupiter has been completed. Wow. Xiao Mo, come quickly, let's go see our home. Our home. Wang Yimo was rarely interested in things, but this piqued his interest. It was an exquisite Western-style house. The interior couldn't be called luxurious, but it met the standards befitting a leader's residence. As soon as they entered, Rimuru and Wang Yimo looked around. After all, this was their home in another world. The reception room, study, bathroom, kitchen, office, and hot spring were all introduced one by one, and then they arrived at the main event, the bedrooms. First was Rimuru's bedroom, entirely sky blue, with some blue drawings of Rimuru as a slime on the walls. Upon entering, one felt very relaxed and warm. Rimuru liked it very much, and Wang Yimo liked it too. This feeling fit his impression of Rimuru very well. Finally, it was Wang Yimo's room. Opening the door, it was a silver-black room, mysterious and oppressive. The silver on the walls seemed to adorn an indistinct, looming giant dragon. On the wall directly facing the door, a pair of half-open eyes of heaven stared directly at anyone who entered, seemingly seeing through everything. When designing, we didn't know what colors Lord Jupiter liked, only that his dragon form had these colors. Plus, Lord Jupiter is usually mysterious, so we designed it this way, Rigard explained along with the dwarf brothers. You put a lot of thought into this. I like it very much. Xiao Mo, don't you find it a bit oppressive? Not at all. I quite like it. This is my first home. Wang Yimo smiled, a very sincere smile. As long as you like it. Rimuru didn't think much of it. After all, everyone has different preferences. Oppression. To erupt in oppression, or to die in oppression. In the boundless darkness, something seems to be missing. Wang Yimo thought to himself. What is missing? Forget it, I'll fill it in when I have time later. Rimuru, this is our home. No matter how flat his emotions were, there was still this excitement to dispel them. This is our home. Yes, Xiao Mo. Looking at Wang Yimo's excited expression, Rimuru also revealed a happy smile. If he is happy, I am happy. Flowers are not flowers, dreams are not dreams, I am not I. The first day in the new home. The first night in the new home. Sleeping in my own bed. Consciousness gradually faded, eyes having just closed. Opening my eyes once again, all around was darkness and nothingness. Yo, you're here so early. A pitch-black figure with blood-red eyes stood opposite, quietly watching Wang Yimo. Who are you? That's not important. Then why are you here? That's not important either. Where is this? Your consciousness space. 3 cross veins appeared on Wang Yimo's forehead. He saw a look in that figure's eyes as if they were looking at a complete idiot. Then tell me, what is important? Nothing much, I'm just curious how you just walked in like this. What do you mean? Your soul is very weak. Coming here should have seen you torn apart by the chaotic consciousness. Logically, you shouldn't be able to see me either. Unless I could control you. The last sentence was whispered. I don't know how I got here either. Could it be that guy? The more I look, the more it seems like it. What? That guy. Shoo, shoo. Why does a kid have so many questions? It's not like that. Since you're here, I'll set up something fun for you. The scene flashed. Hey, sensei, are you okay? It was that pitch-black figure. His consciousness became clearer, and struggling to open his eyes, he saw Rimuru in human form. Rimuru, why are you here? Sensei, we just shook hands, how did you faint? Fainted. But wasn't I in another world? Another world. Sensei, you must have bumped your head. Many people stood around, seemingly just there to watch the show. Wang Yimo stood up. His height was his own, and his head throbbed. Could it really have just been a grand dream that came to nothing? Slowly standing up, Wang Yimo rubbed his head and said to the people around him, I'm fine, sorry for the trouble. Thank you, Rimuru-sensei. It's okay. Gojo-sensei, you need to take care of yourself. Rimuru left. I have to say, the voice really sounds like Rimuru's. Wang Yimo thought to himself. Having no mood to continue wandering around the anime convention, he walked straight out. Was it really just a dream? But it felt so real. Walking down the street, Wang Yimo rubbed his head while thinking. The memories of that pitch-black figure in his consciousness had also been blocked. Reaching for the phone in his pocket, he opened the cracked device, checked WeChat, and glanced at his balance. Just a few cents. Confirmed. The other world really was just a dream. Wang Yimo felt helpless. Ha 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 ha. The figure in the consciousness space was dying of laughter. Just as he was about to ramp up the prank, a holy light enveloped Wang Yimo's consciousness. Tisk, meddling fellow, the black figure muttered dissatisfiedly. There was nothing for it but to continue watching the show. It was now midday. Wang Yimo wasn't hungry, so he went straight home. Taking off the white cosplay wig, the black-haired Wang Yimo still looked very handsome with his Raikugan 6 eyes colored contacts. Boarding the bus home, he opened his battered phone, looked at the empty notification screen, found his earphones, and turned on some music. Cry for me. The music matched Wang Yimo's state of mind. Those adventures in another world, that home, those companions, those experiences, if they were all a dream, it was an indescribable sadness, because at least there, he had a home. Reaching his stop, he got off and walked into an old residential compound. Arriving at the entrance of a building, he opened the dilapidated door and walked upstairs alone. His footsteps were distinct in the quiet stairwell, and a sense of loneliness washed over him. Wang Yimo lowered his head slightly, trying to bury his face in his clothes. He arrived at a doorway he was all too familiar with. Finding his keys, he opened the door and walked in. The house was clean, a two-bedroom apartment with a living room, kitchen, and bathroom. Dust had settled on the old television, but the table beside it, holding two photographs, was spotless. The people in the photos smiled kindly. Next to them was a fallen picture frame, which Wang Yimo set upright. It was a family portrait, a family of 3, looking very happy, but that happiness seemed to have vanished forever. He tidied up the house. It seemed only by staying busy could he forget the reality of his loneliness. Wang Yimo didn't feel tired until evening, when his stomach felt hungry, and he went to the kitchen. A note was stuck on the fridge: eat well. He opened the fridge and took a look. There didn't seem to be anything to eat. Opening the cupboard, he found a pack of instant noodles and a ham sausage, having a simple, slapdash meal. As it grew dark, Wang Yimo didn't turn on the lights. He leaned alone against the wall by the windowsill, looking out through the glass at everything, the city's lights and the bustle of life gradually rising. It seemed as if none of it had anything to do with him. Downstairs, a family was returning home happily. Daddy, I want more roast duck, a child said happily. Sure. Next week, when mommy and daddy have earned more money, we'll take you to eat some. A woman, the mother, presumably. Things will get better. A man, his voice full of confidence. Recalling the past, Wang Yimo's family had been the same. Although they had no money, they were still full of confidence in life. Though their days were ordinary, they were often filled with laughter. He couldn't help but look back at the family portrait. Nothing could ever come back. Happy birthday, Wang Yimo. He wrapped the blanket around him more tightly, pulling it with force, trying to calm his trembling body. Patter. It was the sound of a teardrop falling onto the windowsill. Patter. Strange, how can there be the sound of teardrops falling in the void? Gradually, Wang Yimo stopped trembling. Tears left marks on his face. Looking at this world, he seemed to want to leave it all behind. Xiao Mo, you must live on well. Son, I love you. The last words he heard before he fainted that day. Should I really live on? Wang Yimo wasn't quite sure. He fell into a groggy sleep. Ring ring ring. The alarm went off. Wang Yimo got up, changed, and washed. He put on a somewhat faded school uniform. He found some bread in the fridge, took a bag of milk from a crate, and headed to school. Still the bus, still listening to music. Looking at the people, things, and objects outside the window, it seemed that no matter which world he was in, he was out of place. Getting off, he put away his phone and earphones, turning them off. Entering the school gate, people were in groups of 2s and 3s, laughing and chatting. He alone carried his bag, head down, focused only on his own path. Passing by some people, he could even hear their chatter. It's him. He's quite handsome, but his personality became exceptionally weird after that thing happened at his home. After Wang Yimo had walked a bit further away, some students began talking about him. It's a pity. His grades were good, and he used to be an optimistic, cheerful, even somewhat mischievous little, warm boy, but he turned out like this. You can only call it fate. Fate. Screw fate. Wang Yimo still heard those 2 words. I don't believe this is the will of heaven. Evil has not been judged, and justice has not been upheld. Why? Why did all of this happen to me? Wang Yimo's eyes filled with a fierce blood-red hue. As his blood pressure spiked and his blood boiled, he collided with someone's shoulder. The next moment. Thump. When he opened his eyes again. Where is this? Wang Yimo looked at the dark room and the black decor. He looked at his hands and then at himself in the mirror. Another world. So did I faint again, or is this a dream within a dream? Wang Yimo felt a bit strange. He looked out the window, it was still night. Holy crap, if this is a dream, it's way too consistent. Did time just freeze while I was unconscious? Wearing pajamas and carrying his pillow, Wang Yimo got up and left. He went to a large tree and leaned against his pillow, just like he had sat on the windowsill at home. Rimuru seemed to sense something and looked out the window. A lonely figure. That was the only term Rimuru could think of. Xiao Mo, what are you doing up instead of sleeping? Rimuru followed after him. He's my own kid, of course I have to spoil him. I can't sleep. I had a nightmare. What kind of dream? I dreamed that all of this was fake, and I went back to living all alone. Rimuru's cool little hand touched Wang Yimo's, then stroked his face. Now you know if it's real or fake, right? Then let's go back to sleep. Okay, but I want to sleep with you. Wang Yimo said shyly. Alright Tilda, you're the boss. Rimuru said dotingly. Whether it's a dream or reality, even just this moment is enough. This time, he didn't return to reality, nor did he see that pitch-black figure, but Wang Yimo always felt a sense of detachment. Rimuru, beneath the dragon's body, was also woken up by Wang Yimo's tossing and turning. If he hadn't gotten used to having a dragon pressing down on him, how could Rimuru have ever slept? You're awake, Xiao Mo. Did you have any more nightmares? Rimuru asked with sleepy eyes. No, I made you worry, Rimuru. Wang Yimo rubbed his eyes, it seemed he really had a good sleep. Flowers are not flowers, dreams are not dreams, I am not myself. Did I enter a dream, or is my life itself a dream? Coming out of the room, Rigard, who had come to report, was stunned. Good day, Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter. Are these two together now? Rigard remembered that Rimuru was genderless but leaned towards female. Oh, it's Rigard. Is something the matter? It's like this, we've built a government building and a central plaza in the town center. We would like to invite you two lords to inspect them. Rigard explained the situation. The two of them went gladly. A fountain surrounded by a white stone base stood with a black and white stone carved pillar at its center. A giant dragon coiled around the pillar, its head resting at the top, and there was still empty space beside the dragon's head. It's like this, we plan to carve Lord Rimuru and Lord Jupiter in the empty space. However, considering Lord Rimuru's slime form is too small, we are waiting until Lord Rimuru can mimic a human form to engrave both of you on it, Rigard and Kaijin explained. Rigard was loyal to Rimuru and also loyal to Wang Yimo. Although he didn't have the same status as Rimuru, he was an elder who also cared for Wang Yimo. Thank you for your hard work, Rigard. Wang Yimo was very pleased. He took good care of Rigard, after all, not many people cared about him. Some might ask, what about the little brother? The little brother woke up yesterday and found himself still in jail, unable to break free. Inadvertently, he summoned a storm wolf and returned on his own. His teaching level was comparable to Naruto's. It was like, whoosh, and then bang, it was summoned. Tisk, hard to comment on that. Lord Rimuru, this is bad. Something's happened. Gobta ran over, in a great hurry, his eyes full of anxiety. Slow down, Gobta. Wang Yimo didn't mind that the little brother hadn't used his honorific title. Sorry, Lord Jupiter. It's like this, there's a monster riot to the north of the village. There's an A-rank monster, a dragon lizard, along with a cluster of subordinate monsters, Gobta said. As expected, things have deviated. This didn't happen in the original story. I'll go take a look. Wang Yimo put his hands behind his head and spoke nonchalantly, starting to walk out as he finished. No, I'll go take a look too, just in case. Rimuru felt a bit uneasy, sensing that something had been happening lately. Wang Yimo was faster after all, leaving the village in a single step using Chaos Divine Walk. To the north, a large amount of smoke and dust could be seen in the forest, with many monsters fleeing in all directions. A crimson dragon lizard was nearby, breathing fire from its mouth. It was a variant of an aquatic lizard, with crimson scales, two dragon horns on its head, and black gold eyes emitting a pressure similar to that of the dragon race. The amount of magicules is quite impressive, but it's useless. With a flash, Wang Yimo appeared in front of the dragon lizard. Human, get lost, or die. The dragon lizard surprisingly didn't attack immediately. This gave Wang Yimo an idea. Yo, an intelligent monster. How did you evolve? None of your business. You're destroying the territory where I live, so how is it not my business? Are you also here to fight for the forest? Then die. The dragon lizard raised its giant claw for a powerful strike. A huge cloud of dust rose from the ground, leaving a footprint, but Wang Yimo was nowhere to be seen. Was he crushed? The dragon lizard thought. Don't get distracted during a fight. Wang Yimo was still standing beneath the dragon lizard's belly. He clenched his right fist, jumped up, and delivered a powerful blow. Chaos Thunder Flash. The power of thunder and chaos quickly knocked the dragon lizard 3 feet off the ground. The giant lizard felt a surge of abdominal pain, but since it was an evolved creature, its dragon scales were not easily breached. Quite tough, aren't you? You've angered me. Filled with rage, the dragon lizard opened its massive maw and spat a crimson flame dragon breath at Wang Yimo. Colors shimmered within the heavenly eye as Wang Yimo raised his right hand. Until now, Wang Yimo had never activated the limitless within the heavenly eye. Because it wasn't a moment of emergency, it wasn't needed, life needs a bit of excitement. Cursed Technique Reversal. Red. Wang Yimo calmly recited the skill name. As soon as he finished speaking, black-red lightning shot out, instantly blowing away the dragon breath. Boom. The lightning struck the dragon lizard, breaking the dragon horns on its head and causing scales to fall off, exposing pitch-black flesh. The dragon lizard collapsed on the ground, spitting out a large amount of blood, while its subordinate species fled in terror. After all, they were mindless monsters. When the leader falls, the group scatters. Wang Yimo came before the dragon lizard. Tell me, how did you evolve? Why did you come here, and why are you destroying this place? Wang Yimo found a rock and sat down. Before I gained intelligence, the Jura Great Forest was very harmonious. With Veldora protecting it, although life was still about the survival of the fittest, it was manageable. But one day, Veldora disappeared, and the forest fell into chaos. So, to survive, I constantly devoured and evolved. I inadvertently picked up a dragon scale from Lord Veldora and swallowed it. Then I evolved. I thought it might be a blessing from heaven. I wanted to be like Lord Veldora and protect the forest, so I wanted to drive out the outsiders. The dragon lizard was weak and no longer struggled, seemingly having come to terms with its fate. Wang Yimo shook his head and reverted to his original form. His massive dragon body blotted out the sun, and his aura was powerful. The dragon lizard was stunned. Wait, bro, if you were this powerful, you should have said so earlier. I got beaten up for nothing. Didn't I forget? This is Lord Veldora's protection and soul engraving. It was an aura from the same source as the dragon scale. Can you feel it? The aura of Veldora within my soul. Wang Yimo raised an eyebrow. My name is Jupiter Tempest. Veldora is called Veldora Tempest. There is also Rimuru Tempest. We are best friends and family. I understand. I am loyal to you, Lord Jupiter. The dragon lizard lowered its head, submitting to Wang Yimo. Wang Yimo raised his hand, patted the dragon lizard's head, and said, "You won't be disappointed." Green healing light shone from his palm, curing all of the dragon lizard's wounds. The dragon lizard controlled its size, shrinking to about the same size as Ranga. Come, let me name you. The dragon lizard's pupils dilated, it clearly hadn't expected Wang Yimo to name it. What's wrong? Unwilling. No, why the naming? To make you work for me wholeheartedly, of course. Wang Yimo grinned mischievously. You are not that kind of person, and I will not let you down. The dragon lizard lowered its head, waiting for Wang Yimo to name it. Rimuru and the others watched from the side without making a sound. This was Wang Yimo's choice, and Rimuru would support him no matter what. Let's go with Tragon, an abbreviation of Tempest Dragon. Wang Yimo decided just like that. Yes, my master, Lord Jupiter. From now on, my name is Tragon. The dragon lizard confirmed its name. Magicules flickered from Wang Yimo's body to Tragon's. After a flash of light, Tragon completed his evolution. His fiery red body turned into a dark black, with some red patterns appearing on his body. His pupils turned red, looking full of pressure, and his body's muscles also evolved. Notice. Acquired subordinate Tempest Dragon, Tragon. He can be placed in the Chaos space and summoned at any time. Tragon. Chaos Drake. Your subordinate Tragon is at your command. Tragon went directly back into Wang Yimo's Chaos space. How much longer are you going to watch, Rimuru? Wang Yimo looked toward the nearby woods. Xiao Mo, congratulations on having your own subordinate. Rimuru hopped over to Wang Yimo's side. Be sure to treat your subordinate well in the future. Rimuru felt that this guy might not treat his subordinates like people, so he couldn't help but give a friendly reminder. Do I look like some heartless capitalist? Wang Yimo was a bit indignant. No, Xiao Mo, I'm just afraid you won't know how to care for people. Rimuru scratched his head, feeling a bit embarrassed. I think I've already cared for you a lot. I think I'm only caring for you. I'll take good care of him. Come out and say hello, Tragon. Hello, Lord Rimuru. I am Tragon, Lord Jupiter's subordinate. Tragon introduced himself neither humbly nor arrogantly. Hello. This is Xiao Mo's first time having a subordinate, so I hope you'll look after him. What do you mean? Who's looking after whom? I hope he can take care of Xiao Mo. By the way, why are his eyes red, unlike Wang Yimo's blue ones? Red eyes. I hope I'm just overthinking it. Looking at the two people who had different thoughts but cared for each other, Tragon also understood something. It seems Lord Jupiter and Lord Rimuru haven't realized their own or each other's feelings yet. Inside the chaos consciousness space. Wait, he's already recruiting subordinates. The pitch-black figure spoke in disbelief. No, I have to make arrangements soon, or there won't be a foundation. A wave of fluctuations rippled through the chaos space. It's steady, I just don't know how long it will take to arrive, and whether this kid can handle it. In reality, Rimuru and Wang Yimo had already returned to the village. The village was still busy building houses and crafting items. Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter, is everything settled? Rigard was the first to come over and greet them. Yeah, Xiaomo handled it easily. Rimuru responded cheerfully, as if Wang Yimo's capability was his own. But thinking back, Xiaomo's skills are actually quite violent. You're not wrong, it definitely hurts. Tragon agreed from within the space. Wow, Sasuga Lord Jupiter. Rigard was also someone who understood Jupiter's abilities. It was a small matter, Rigard. Come out and meet everyone, Tragon, come see our village. Wang Yimo was in a slightly better mood, his tone uncharacteristically cheerful. As soon as he finished speaking, Tragon emerged from a vortex. Master. Alright, no need to be so formal. You are my subordinate, but you're also my family. It's rare to see Xiao Mo in such a good mood. Do you want to handle some government affairs? Rimuru said mischievously. Rimuru, don't force me to beat you up while I'm happy. Wang Yimo picked up Rimuru and started pulling and stretching him with both hands. Rigard and Tragon both showed maternal smiles. They both saw the necessary expression in each other's eyes. They pointed their small hands as if to say, oh, you too. For the future happiness of the two lords, we must work hard. Both of them thought this simultaneously. Hey, Rigard, let's have a banquet. We haven't had one in a long time, Wang Yimo said to Rigard while holding Rimuru. Since Lord Jupiter suggested it, then it's happily decided. Rimuru teased Wang Yimo. Alright, Rimuru, just wait and see if I don't mess with you. Wang Yimo increased the pressure in his hands, and Rimuru was stretched back and forth like ramen noodles. Okay, I was wrong, Xiao Mo. Rimuru timely begged for mercy. Lord Rimuru is only so after all. Wang Yimo stopped pulling Rimuru and just held him. Speaking of which, Tragon is one of the few besides Rimuru who would care for him, along with Rigard. As for why Rigard cares about Wang Yimo, there will be a headcanon story about that later. I don't want to just write about the protagonist, I want to write about the world as I imagine it. Rimuru went to work, Rigard had already gone to prepare for the banquet, and Tragon had circled the town a few times to familiarize himself with it. Wang Yimo sat on the stone pillar in the center of the plaza, watching everything in the town. A gentle breeze brushed past, and a faint smile touched the corners of his mouth. He seemed to feel a sense of belonging again. Hey, You're really a strange person. You long to be loved, yet you're afraid of being loved. The voice in his heart appeared again. Yeah, I'm just afraid of losing again. But how do you know you'll lose? I don't know. I don't dare to gamble. If I don't gain anything, I won't lose anything. That's why I say you're strange. Not trying to induce me to destroy things today. There's no need. You'll reach that step sooner or later anyway, won't you? Maybe. We will meet, but I don't want you to see me so soon. The voice gradually weakened until it disappeared. But I think I know who you are now. Oh, interesting. Then I want to see how far you can go. At dusk, the sound of wings flapping through the air came from not far away. Master, this town is quite nice. Is this the place we are to protect? Maybe. It's home, but it's also not home. Tragan didn't understand what that meant, but he knew he would do whatever his master told him to do. Wang Yimo looked at Tragan, stood up from the stone pillar, and leapt down, landing on Tragan's back. Let's go for a ride. Can't you fly yourself? Flying yourself and being flown by someone else are two different things. Besides, who hasn't had a fantasy about being a dragon knight? My master is quite childish. With no choice, Tragan gave a powerful flap of his wings and accelerated forward. Feeling the wind slice past him, Wang Yimo opened his arms as if embracing the breeze. What slid through his fingertips wasn't just wind, but freedom. He greedily enjoyed it all, passing through the clouds and looking at the incredibly clean sky. Sunset was approaching, and the clouds were like a sea of fire, glowing with pink light. I only hope that all of this is real. I want to possess all of this. Wang Yimo's voice wasn't loud, but Tragan heard it all. He didn't understand what his master was saying, but since it was his master's wish, he would work hard to help him achieve it. As the sun slowly set, the Milky Way opened its eyes at the horizon, with stars dotting the deep sky. Before long, it was dark, and the starry river told of endless beauty. Wang Yimo reached out his hand as if to grasp the stars, as if he didn't want this moment of beauty to slip through his fingers. Tragan took Wang Yimo and flew at high speed toward the outer heavens. Upon reaching Tragan's limit, Wang Yimo spread his arms and slid off Tragan's back. He fell downward in a spread eagle position, with only the roar of the airflow in his ears. Tragan was confused but stayed by his side. However, Wang Yimo's eyes looked as if they had lost their soul. It was as if he had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Tragan accelerated, caught Wang Yimo, and skimmed across the low altitude. Master, what were you thinking? Falling from such a height would hurt a lot, even for you. Sorry, Tragan, I spaced out. Wang Yimo patted Tragan's head to comfort him. It seemed Tragan had sensed Wang Yimo's abnormality. Perhaps, just as Lord Rimuru said, I need to keep a close eye on Lord Jupiter. Tragan thought to himself. Rimuru, who was working, felt a sudden pain in his brain. Mysterious flashback images appeared again. It was a sea of fire, surrounded by ruins. A giant dragon flew overhead, and countless whales rose from the ground. He had seen those red eyes somewhere before. A person stood in the middle of the sea of fire. Yo, Rimuru, this isn't a scene you should be seeing right now. A familiar voice spoke. Just before the image vanished, Rimuru saw another pair of red eyes, but these were filled with violence, destruction, and a self-destructive, frantic gaze. What on earth happened? Where is that? Why was Xiaomo there? Why was his tone so devoid of emotion toward me? And those red eyes, who exactly was that? Rimuru had many doubts. The architectural style of that place didn't look like the village. Where could it be? Xiaomo, what exactly happened to you? What have you become? Looking out the window, that familiar yet strange figure was back on the stone pillar. Wang Yimo noticed Rimuru looking at him and waved. His blue eyes looked very beautiful under the night sky, and the slight curve of his lips added a touch of warmth to his mysterious face. Rimuru waved back in response. Wang Yimo smiled. He often smiled in front of Rimuru, but in the eyes of outsiders, this man was often surrounded by a low-pressure aura, making him difficult to approach. Around Rimuru and those close to him, he seemed to often display a certain mischievousness and childishness, though he wasn't even aware of this contrast himself. Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter, the banquet is ready. Rigurd called out. Tragan hadn't returned to the chaos space, so for this banquet, he stayed outside to eat and drink, watching the goblins perform and enjoying the delicious food. It seemed such a place was truly wonderful. Tragan also understood why Lord Jupiter and Lord Rimuru protected this place. This was a place that felt like home. It was rare for Wang Yimo to raise a glass and drink with the goblins. Everyone was eating and drinking happily and boisterously. Rimuru was much happier seeing Wang Yimo integrate a bit more into the village. The banquet continued, but Wang Yimo returned to that stone pillar. Rimuru followed him up. Xiao Mo, promise me, don't ever become someone I don't recognize. Don't ever leave me, okay? Rimuru looked at Wang Yimo with a heavy heart and spoke very seriously. What are you thinking, Rimuru? Why would I become unrecognizable? Besides, people are fickle. Maybe you'll be the one who changes, Wang Yimo replied carelessly. But seeing that Rimuru didn't respond, he looked down and saw Rimuru's dead serious expression. Fine, Rimuru. I don't know what happened to make you like this, but I promise you, I won't become strange, and I won't leave you. The outskirts of the Jura Great Forest. Run. My god, since when were there so many high-level monsters in this forest? Ellen complained while running with her two teammates. Behind them followed a masked figure. Anyone who had been at the Night Butterfly that day would recognize her as Rimuru's fated person. The masked person was the slowest, and closely following behind was a large swarm of mutant ants. Fleeing, along the way, aside from using a few skills to restrict the ants' attacks, everyone was focused on trying to escape. However, the enhanced ants didn't seem to be completely brainless. Crack! The surrounding giant trees crashed down. A group of even more powerful soldier ants appeared all around them. It's over, there's no way out. Ellen looked desperate. Then let's fight to the death. The warrior Kabaru grit his teeth, trying to keep himself calm. No matter what, Ellen, you have to run first. Guido had a look of heroic sacrifice on his face. It's just that we've dragged Miss Shizu into this. Ellen didn't want to abandon her teammates to save herself. Shizu didn't say a word, condensing powerful flames in her hands. Instant cast. A powerful pillar of fire shot straight toward the ants. In an instant, 3 charred corpses lay on the ground, their carapaces still crackling. Now! Go! Shizu shouted from behind, using flames to blast the 3 of them away, then surrounding the ants in a circle of fire with herself at the center. The natural instinct of animals to stay away from fire prevented the ants from attacking Ellen and the others. Miss Shizu. Ellen wanted to rush toward Shizu but was held back by the other 2. We'll go find help right now. We won't let Miss Shizu's sacrifice be in vain. The commotion from the battle in the forest was significant, and the goblin scouting party from the village had already discovered it. Lord Rimuru, Lord Jupiter, things are bad. 4 humans were found entering the Jura Great Forest, but they are being attacked by monsters. The goblin squad came to report. Should we save them, Rimuru? Wang Yimo knew it was Miss Shizu. Let's save them. We'll have to deal with them eventually, and knowing some acquaintances might help us gather more information. Rimuru thought for a moment. Then, I'm heading out. Let's go, Tragan. Summoning Tragan, it was still a dragon riding a dragon. Hey, wait for Mia, Rimuru's hand froze in midair. There was nothing he could do, Xiaomo was just too fast. He had no choice but to summon Ranga and have him speed toward the battlefield. Meanwhile, not long after Ellen and the others had escaped, they saw that some stragglers were still chasing them. We can't shake them. Kabaru was both angry and desperate. Was Miss Shizu's sacrifice for nothing? Guido and Kabaru blocked the ants, firmly protecting Ellen behind them. I won't run away this time. Ellen raised her staff and condensed magic power, walking between the 2. There were 5 straggling ants in total, and only 1 came forward to test their strength. The 3 of them worked together, using everything they had, but couldn't kill even a single ant. Near A-rank monsters. We have no chance of winning. The 3 collapsed on the ground in exhaustion, quietly waiting for death. Just as the ant stepped forward and opened its huge mandibles to finish the 3 of them. Sorry, but I never said you 3 would die. A voice came through. Run, sir. These monsters aren't normal. Ellen didn't want an innocent person to die and tried to tell him to run. She was cut off mid-sentence. The man passed by her, his eyes of heaven revealing excitement for the battle. Pushing off with his left foot, he launched forward like a cannonball, leaving only a trail of dust. Fast. Thud. This was the dull sound of something being hit hard. Run. Crack, crack, crack. The sound of something shattering. Splat. Something exploded. Ellen looked back as the dust settled to see one ant lying down and a man standing on top of it. The ant's limbs on the ground were still struggling, but there was a massive hole through its body. Dark purple blood spilled everywhere. The other 4 ants looked at the man as if facing a great enemy, not daring to move. Beneath the dust, those unique eyes were simply soul-stirring. Sorry, what were you saying just now? For friends who like listening to music while reading, you can listen to space. Super slowed, it fits quite well. So strong. Kabaru muttered to himself. A dragon slowly landed beside them. This gave them a fright, but no one asked questions or tried to run. If such a powerful person wanted them dead, running wouldn't matter anyway, it'd just be a matter of moving the grave. Sir, please save our companion. She was surrounded by monsters for our sake. Ellen was the first to react and pleaded with Wang Yimo for help, betting on his kindness. Yes, please lend a hand. The other 2 gave a deep 90-degree bow. All right, I understand. Dragon, protect them, and take care of these while you're at it. Wang Yimo glanced back, then vanished in an instant. He didn't need them to tell him the location. Not far away, the sky was lit with flames, and the sounds of explosions and the low-frequency hissing of ants were a chaotic mess. Leave it to me, Lord Jupiter. Before Wang Yimo left, Dragon signaled he had received the order. Dragon slowly flew up, opened his dragon maw, and spat out dragon breath. The ants were fully cooked, even a bit charred. But that didn't stop Dragon from appreciating the meal. Ever since Wang Yimo let him out and he had a few good meals, he had fallen in love with tasting different delicacies. Crunchy, tastes like chicken. It's beef, just a bit sour. Dragon was seriously focused on his meal, completely ignoring the trio petrified behind him. A powerful sub-dragon, that's a foodie, that's a first. Rimuru and Ranga arrived late. Seeing the unharmed trio and the eating dragon, he couldn't help but ask, where's Xiao Mo? Dragon. Lord Jupiter went to save another person. Dragon spoke with his mouth full. Excuse me, but who are you? Ellen gathered the courage to ask the slime, who seemed to have an extraordinary status. I am Rimuru. I'm a slime, and I'm a good friend of this dragon's master. Thank you for your assistance. Is the friend you mentioned Lord Jupiter? Yeah, you should have met him, the one with the blue heterochromatic eyes. That must be him. Before Rimuru arrived, at the place where Miss Shizu was. My magicals are almost gone. I won't be able to suppress it like this. Miss Shizu was already exhausted. It seems dying like this would be fine too. I should have died long ago, I just feel bad for those children. And Ellen and the others should have survived by now, right? In a daze, Shizu fell to the ground. She could barely keep her eyes open. Besides the crackling of the fire, all she could hear was the dull thumping of the ants walking on the ground. Don't die. Someone still wants to see you. Wang Yimo's voice came through. For some reason, it made Shizu feel very safe. Shizu struggled to lift her head. What met her eyes was Wang Yimo's calm gaze, though he seemed a bit hurried. There was a sense of reliance from deep within her soul, perhaps because they were both otherworlders. Thank you for coming to save me, stranger, but if you don't leave, you might die too. Quickly, leave, the thing inside my body is about to break free. Shizu stammered. I can't do that. As long as I'm here, nothing will happen to you, at least not for now. Because I am the strongest. An aura belonging to Gojo-sensei suddenly burst forth. Is that so? Then I'll leave it to you. Shizu fell unconscious. Now, you all should die. Picking up Miss Shizu, a fierce light gleamed in Wang Yimo's eyes. Annihilation. Wang Yimo opened with his ultimate skill. While Rimuru and Ellen were talking, a scene that shocked everyone appeared at the location of Shizu's battle. Even though it was daytime, that space became pitch black. The black area grew larger and larger, then suddenly shrank rapidly and disappeared. In the next moment, the world turned into one color, pure white. An extreme white burst forth from there, followed by extreme black. When everything returned to normal, everyone rushed to the scene and found that with the airborne Wang Yimo as the center, and the radius of the fire circle Shizu had drawn as the radius, a spherical space had been flattened. It was annihilation in the physical sense, as well as in the sense of magicals and souls. Magicals didn't exist here, souls didn't exist here, it wasn't even defined by physics. Dust floated in the air, a destruction of physical definitions. Notice. Skill, annihilation, has been used. The world will perform restoration on the annihilated area. This was the voice of the world, not great sage or celestial language. All living creatures within the Jura Great Forest were notified. Everyone turned their gaze toward the figure in the sky holding a person, looking at him as if looking at a demon god. In that strange environment, that backlit figure and those eyes of heaven seemed to be endowed with something new, divinity. Notice. Interesting. I'm afraid even I couldn't withstand this skill, a playful voice came from behind the crystal ball. Even you can't withstand it. Is it really that exaggerated? A female voice asked from behind. Concept erasure skill. Unless you exist outside the concept of this world, you are bound by it. As long as you breathe the air here or touch anything, you are assigned a concept. Would you say this skill is strong? And I cannot make it my own. The man explained the skill with great interest, yet he showed no fear. You can't copy it. Could it involve? The woman sounded somewhat surprised. Shish, don't talk nonsense. Should we recruit him? Let's take it one step at a time. I already told you, I just got angry when I saw how weak Shizu was while she was still thinking of me, so I thought I'd try out my skill. After settling Shizu in, everyone went to the council hall to avoid disturbing her. Wang Yimo sat piously in a chair, undergoing Rimuru interrogation. But with such a powerful skill, don't you have any side effects? None at all. Everything is normal. Wang Yimo felt a bit guilty. You better be telling the truth. Rimuru could tell Wang Yimo didn't want to tell the truth, so he didn't press further. Then, shouldn't we deal with them? Wang Yimo looked at the trio. That's right. The village we monsters built cannot be exposed yet. Rimuru also looked at the three people with a wicked grin. We will keep our mouths shut. The three were trembling like leaves, shaking uncontrollably, and even performed a dogeza to show their sincerity. Just as the three were trembling in fear. Ha 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 ha. Rimuru, I told you they were easily scared. You lost, so you're doing the dishes this month. TCH, fine, I'll do them. Rimuru wasn't very convinced. We were just scaring you. If we really wanted to kill you, we wouldn't have saved you. Rimuru explained. That's too much, Rimuru-sama, Jupiter-sama. Ellen was angry, her cheeks puffed out. Rimuru dono, Jupiter dono, please don't do things like that. Kabaru lay on the ground, listless. I second that. Guido felt as if his soul had left his body. I'll state first that this was Xiaomo's idea, don't blame me. Rimuru poked his index fingers together, lying with a straight face. Oh, so it was you, Jupiter-sama. Ellen pointed her finger directly at Wang Yimo. Hey, hey, hey. What do you mean it was all my idea? Do I have such twisted hobbies? Rimuru, Rigard, Kaijin, Tragan. Ulu Lulu. The four of them nodded at first, but then met Wang Yimo's dangerous gaze and hurriedly shook their heads. Jupiter-sama, don't bully them. Ellen reached out and grabbed Jupiter's ear. Yeah, it hurts. Jupiter wailed, but he wasn't angry. But this scene stunned everyone watching in the village. To mess with this guy, she was the first person in history to do so, besides Rimuru. Xiaomo's ears look so squishy. Rimuru thought, then shook his head to kill that thought, right. Seeming to realize her rudeness, Ellen let go of Wang Yimo, ran back to her group, and said with a blush, I'm sorry, Jupiter-sama, I was rude. It's fine. You're the first outsider to lay a hand on me. Wang Yimo's eyes were dangerous as he slowly approached Ellen. Please punish me. Ellen looked like she was ready to face martyrdom. As it turned out, Wang Yimo just pinched Ellen's cheek and said, what are you thinking? Am I some kind of bad guy? TCH. Shish. I'm so annoyed, I'm not playing with you guys anymore. Wang Yimo let go and stomped off angrily. It was the first time seeing this guy be so amusing. Tragan, get out here. I saw you nod and, earlier. See if I don't train you to death. Wang Yimo's voice came from the doorway. Snap. A dragon lost its light. Alright, Xiaomo, don't bully Tragan. Rimuru spoke up at the right time. The dragon seemed to regain its light. Wang Yimo walked back, glaring at Tragan, just wait until I train you in the chaos space. The dragon seemed to have 1.4 life energy back. Watching the eye contact between master and servant, everyone chuckled softly. Like master, like servant. Xiao Mo, how did it feel? Rimuru leaned in and asked cheekily, though, in his heart, he was actually a bit jealous, but he didn't realize it. Wang Yimo raised an eyebrow. What's going on? Is he lovesick? Not acting anymore since Shizu arrived. Go find Shizu and experience it yourself. Wang Yimo felt slightly dissatisfied, but didn't understand why. The three were confused, so Kaijin and the others explained it to everyone. Shizu is Rimuru-sama Dono's fated person. Many people present were stunned. Tragan and Rigard looked at Wang Yimo, seemingly knowing the reason for this guy's sudden change in temperament today. What kind of look is that? It's disgusting. And Tragan, why are you still looking at me with pity? Do you want me to beat you up right now? Wang Yimo was confused. That may be so, but there's also a guy with red and gold heterochromatic eyes who is also Rimuru Dono's fated person. Kaijin said unhurriedly. Say, Rimuru, you have quite a lot of fated people, don't you? Wang Yimo felt angry for no reason and slammed the door as he left. Bang! Everyone jumped in shock. The door. Pour one out for me QWQ. Except for Tragan and Rigard, no one else knew why this guy suddenly got angry. Rimuru was also a bit confused, although he was basically a ball of confusion. Louis XVI, sending the slime modification code. Ellen vaguely felt it had something to do with Rimuru. Maybe I should take Xiaomo with me next time. To see who his fated person is. Rimuru thought, assuming Xiaomo was angry because he didn't take him along. I know some people are asking about the gifts, the two of them are waiting for the right moment to give them together. The brainless and unhappy duo. Rigard and Tragan looked at the two and couldn't help but slap their foreheads. They have a long road ahead. Worried about Wang Yimo turning dark, Rimuru chatted with Ellen and the others for a few moments before going out to find Wang Yimo. You really are here, Xiao Mo. Rimuru found Wang Yimo on a stone pillar. Ah, why did you chase after me, Rimuru? Wang Yimo let the wind blow, not knowing why he was angry. I was worried about you, just checking on what you were doing. In what capacity are you worried? He asked this question instinctively. A friend. Family. Slap. This time it was a group of people slapping their foreheads. After Rimuru chased after him and Rigard analyzed everything for everyone, they were all enjoying the drama. Oh, I see. Wang Yimo replied indifferently. Why do you ask that? I just wanted to confirm the feelings between us. Oh. Rising tone. Oh, I see. TCH. It's so frustrating, these two still haven't faced their own feelings. This guy even asked that, and Rimuru still hasn't realized it. Wang Yimo had awakened a new skill, Wind Talker, when he left from the sky last time. After awakening, his hearing became very good, adjustable, so the voices of the crowd did not escape Wang Yimo's ears. Wang Yimo stood up and said, no more giving them a chance to watch the show. Let's go. Watch the show. Rimuru turned back. He saw a row of people by the window pointing at the sky and whistling. You say the sky is really a sky. Tragan. Indeed, you are a real dragon. Rigard. I suspect you're insulting me, but I have no evidence. Seeming to understand what this group was doing, Rimuru's face turned red, and he shouted at them, Xiaomo and I are not in that kind of relationship, we are family. Sleeping in the same bed is family too, right? Everyone shared a tacit understanding, then looked at each other and smiled lewdly. What are these guys thinking about? Rimuru-sama. A goblin ran over. What is it? Shizu-sama has woken up. As soon as the words were spoken, Rimuru, Ellen and her trio, Rigard, Kaijin, and the others all ran toward the infirmary. On a large tree at the edge of the village, Wang Yimo looked into the distance. Oh, it's Jupiter-sama. Would you like to go hunting with us? Rigard asked after seeing Jupiter with the hunting party. Let's go. Wang Yimo jumped down from the tree. He wanted to vent his anger. Forest monsters. On the edge of the forest far from the village, a group of fully armed orcs were marching. So hungry, devour them. There was a village not far away. Where is this? Shizu was a bit confused. With me here, you won't have any trouble, because I am the strongest. A pale-faced, blue-eyed figure appeared in her mind, and this figure made Shizu feel inexplicably at ease. Shizu. Many voices approached from afar. Hey, keep it down, the patient needs to rest. No matter which world it was, places like hospitals and clinics needed to be kept quiet. Sorry. We will be careful. The voices lowered significantly. Don't all of you go in. Let the members of her adventure party go in first. Shizu, it's really great that you're okay. Ellen rushed in first, fell to her knees by Shizu's bedside, and burst into tears. Yeah, Shizu. It's really great that you're okay. Kabaru and Gid were also covering their faces and weeping. Their voices were low, as if they were still trying to maintain their composure as men. He. Shizu looked at the three of them and laughed. These three were noisy and unserious along the way, but they entrusted their backs to each other, never abandoning or giving up on one another. They were one of the few sources of happiness she had found since coming to this world. That day, it was on the main street of the Kingdom of Blunt. The three of them had finished their previous commission and were preparing to go back to rest when Fitz introduced her to them. She had expected them not to take a liking to her. After all, how could anyone not be guarded against a newcomer? But that day, Ellen said, "You must be Shizu. Welcome to the team, please take care of us from now on." After saying that, she pulled her hand to go take a bath and go shopping. On the street, Ellen was like a young girl, full of curiosity about everything, taking her to buy candied haws and all kinds of snacks. Gid and Kabaru also doted on this young lady, accompanying her everywhere and doing the hard work without complaint. Young lady, do you really need to buy so much? Kabaru held a shopping bag taller than a person, unable to help complaining. Yeah, it really is a lot. Gid was also trembling while holding a pile of things. What are you talking about? A lot of it is for Shizu. Ellen said solemnly. Seeing many things inside that she liked to eat, the two men didn't say much. They put the things down, spread their hands, and shook their heads. What do you mean? Ellen looked at them, dissatisfied. The three of them bickered endlessly. He. Shizu laughed. Huh. Shizu is laughing, right? Ellen realized. That's too much, Shizu, you didn't even speak up for me. Ellen hugged Shizu's arm angrily, shaking like a spoiled child. This reminded Shizu of those children, as well as the children who were already capable of standing on their own. If it could always be like this, that would be nice. But the increasingly intense, hot aura within her body made her heart sink to the bottom. If I can, I want to take you to the grave with me, without hurting anyone. If I can, I hope you are also an independent individual, not imprisoned by me. Her thoughts were pulled back. Looking at the three people by the window, Shizu was in a particularly good mood. However, thinking that her days were numbered and that these three couldn't solve it, she hoped the person who saved her could, but she didn't want to be a burden to anyone. Because of Wang Yimo's rescue, Shizu could live for a few more days. But she knew her condition very well. She was very grateful to that gentle gentleman for giving her this last chance to experience the world. Shizu, you laughed. Ellen wiped her tears, looking at Shizu. From beginning to end, Shizu never took off her mask, as it was there to suppress the flame spirit within her body. She gently stroked Ellen's head and bent down slightly. Although separated by the mask, Ellen seemed to see Shizu's warm smile. Can you help me call the person who helped us? Okay. Rimuru was called in. Are you the owner of this city? Shizu had never seen Rimuru. Yes, I am Rimuru, a slime. Thank you for helping us. I have something to say to you. It seemed she would only speak if Ellen and the others were driven out. Just when Rimuru was about to speak. Shizu, whatever you want to say, just say it. You are our partner, we. Ellen seemed to be about to cry again. Then let them stay. Shizu's voice was full of fatigue. I am the conqueror of flames. There is a spirit sealed in my body, a superior spirit with considerable power. I can no longer suppress her. I had thought about leaving the crowd and dying with her, but I met you. If possible, I hope you can liberate it and also liberate me. Shizu spoke of her impending death in the calmest tone. She was tired. Her smile was full of bitterness and fatigue. What about that gentleman? Shizu asked about Wang Yimo. I'm here. Wang Yimo stood at the door, leaning against the door frame with his head down. No one could see his expression. Can I ask you both? Rimuru, Jupiter. Call me Xiao Mo. I said, I will protect you. Wang Yimo had learned barrier magic, a barrier suppressed by the power of chaos that could target specific objects. Wang Yimo opened his right hand, and a barrier flashing with starlight unfolded over the town. I said, I will protect you. Thank you, but it's not a solution after all. And I'm tired. I want to see my mother. Tisk. Wang Yimo left, his right fist knocking against the door frame. Just after walking out the door, Wang Yimo's voice drifted back. Then take these few days to say a proper goodbye to your teammates in this world. This is the last thing I can do. Then he left without looking back. Xiaomo is a Tsunere. Rimuru thought to himself. Thank you. Shizu smiled, looking less tired. Rimuru actually found it hard to accept. His fated person was about to pass away. He didn't like this kind of parting, it seemed as though such partings would happen again in the future. Parting, like a pair of hands tightly clutching everyone present. It was sad, breathless. But they were powerless. We only learn to accept after parting again and again. But acceptance does not mean forgetting the sorrow. That heart-wrenching pain is the mark of our love for each other, and it is also the trace of how we commemorate one another. Every time the heart is gripped by that suffocating feeling, perhaps it is their silent longing for you in their final hug. Wang Yimo sat on the stone pillar, thinking of his parents who had long since passed away, and 2 lines of tears flowed down. Don't be so depressed, everyone, I'm not dead yet. Shizu broke the silent and oppressive atmosphere first. Let me reintroduce myself, I am Shizu Izawa. Please take care of me, everyone. Ellen choked, wiped away her tears, and began to introduce herself. Next came Kabaru, Gid, Rimuru, Kaijin, Tragan, and Rigard. The breeze blew over the door frame and brought his voice. My name is Wang Yimo. Also called Jupiter Tempest. Everyone heard the message from the breeze. Shizu smiled, never having been so happy. Kaijin, Rigard, and the others looked at Rimuru, because this was Rimuru-sama's fated person, a fated person who could die at any moment. They didn't know what Rimuru would think of such an encounter leading to a parting. Rimuru himself didn't know, from happy to nervous, to shocked to regretful, he felt regret not only for himself but also for Shizu. Yet, there was no pain of lost love, he only thought that he didn't want to experience such a parting again, especially regarding that always lonely figure. Using healing medicine to help Shizu's body recover, everyone took Shizu to tour the town. They saw different technologies, ate different delicacies, participated in hunting, watched the monsters dancing in front of the bonfire, rode on Tragan to feel the sensation of flight, embraced the breeze, and gazed at the galaxy they had seen countless times, as if seeing it for the first time. They watched the sunrise, watched the sunset, felt the tranquility by the bonfire amidst the wind and rain, and felt the labor in the farmland when the sun was bright. Wang Yimo and Rimuru sensed that Shizu's body was reaching its limit, the day after tomorrow was the final deadline. Why don't we go to Dwargan? Wang Yimo suggested. Yes, Shizu hasn't seen it yet, the dwarf kingdom. Rimuru was also reminded by this suggestion. Ellen and the others hadn't been there either, so they agreed wholeheartedly. Will it really not trouble everyone? Shizu wanted to go but was afraid of troubling everyone. No, leave it to us. Rimuru took on all the work. He and Rigard arranged the travel matters. Late at night, Rigard looked at Rimuru's sadness and powerlessness regarding the parting and couldn't help but cover his face and cry. Wang Yimo patted his shoulder and walked slowly to Rimuru's side. Rimuru, what are you thinking about? That's the end of part 1. Part 2 is coming soon.
Thanks for watching my video. Please like and share it.